Malevolent Movies presents The Hunt for Holiday Horror, featuring Festicool. Zach has selected 2012's Christmas with the Dead.
Welcome back to Malevolent Movies, the podcast, as we continue our final installment in the hunt for holiday horror. And tonight's selection, the final selection, was Nick's. Or no, sorry, was Zach's.
Surprise, Nick.
Yay!
Yeah, Nick, what's your movie?
Home Alone 3.
It's Goonies.
No, Zach's choice tonight, and his movie is Christmas with the Dead. It wasn't that good. Thanks, bye.
Yeah, it kind of sucked. Sorry.
Hold on. To the end.
Wait till you hear the poem, and you'll change your mind.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Do you want it now?
Yep.
Oh,
right
yeah.
now. All right.
Hit me with it.
Oh, yeah.
It's a long one, so settle in.
I'll take a sip.
Yeah, get as many as you want. Festicool and Trevor have been admirable foes. Hopefully I can defeat them with the movie I chose. My search took some time, to that I won't lie, feverishly searching the web until I wanted to cry. This is hopeless, I muttered at the thought of this task. This movie, is it out there? I began to ask. The keywords had beaten me, or so I had thought, but then there it was, to get me out of this tough spot. A movie about Christmas that takes place in mid-June. You thought Trevor's was bad. Well, this'll change your tune.
Hey, now.
A flick with zombies and Christmas galore, getting through could prove to be more than a chore. Sure, Festicool's tough and will fill you with dread, but it's nothing compared to 2012's Christmas with the Dead.
Wonderful.
Thank you.
Yes.
I studied creative writing at community college, so.
It shows.
You should send that to the teacher.
Yeah, I'll call him up.
Quick synopsis here. Actually, not so quick. Oh, my God, dude. Somebody did it. I don't know if this is in character, but it's by Holiday Snapper. The zombies in the movie are called Snappers.
No.
Son
It
of
was
a
an
bitch.
extra. Yeah.
Okay, so in his quest to fulfill a promise made to his wife, Calvin sets out to right his wrongs and make it the best Christmas ever. If only it weren't June, and the majority of the population, including his wife and daughter, hadn't returned from the dead as flesh eating snappers in search of hot human lunches, he'd be in pretty good shape. These are like run-on sentences. Shame on you. Driven by guilt in a race against the apocalyptic clock, Calvin teams up with GM, not the company, a wily ex-garbage man turned into... I don't know why that made me laugh. A wily ex-garbage man turned undead slayer, as together they attempt to deck the halls during the most magical time of the year. It's Christmas in June, and snappers be damned. The lights and decorations are going up.
All right, well.
So, yep.
It is. Christmas with the
That's
Dead.
it. I mean, that's what the movie is.
Yep.
I mean, going into this, I had somewhat, I wouldn't say high expectations, but it's based on a Joe Lansdale story. If you're not familiar with Joe Lansdale,
I am not.
his story was the basis for Bubba Hotep, the TV show Hap and Leonard, this really good movie called Cold in July, Love, Death, and Robots. He's done some Creep Show episodes. Like, he's a legit, well-respected author. And I've listened to him on several movie podcasts over the years. So, I thought, okay, cool. Christmas with the Dead. It's going to be based on one of his stories. It's going to be witty. There's going to be, weird characters, and it's going to have kind of an off-kilter vibe and tone to it. But alas, he didn't write the screenplay. His son wrote the screenplay. His daughter wrote most of the songs, the original, in quotation marks, songs that we're going to hear throughout the movie. And she also played the wife character, Ella. And oh boy, Christmas with the Dead. And Joe Lansdale also produced the movie, or exec produced the movie. So he was involved in the creation.
If you have a dumb son, you have to help him out a little.
Jesus. So the director was a guy named T.L. Lankford, which I didn't really research into him, so I don't know what else, if anything, he's done. But
and this film is very hard to find. It's not legally available.
It is an absolute chore to find.
Yeah. We had to get it through other means.
Yeah, I don't normally like to admit this when it comes down to it, because I do try to buy these movies. In fact, gentlemen, I don't want to spoil it, but I have 2 future Malevolent Movies episodes that you guys are going to be pumped about.
Yeah, they're shipping.
Oh boy.
I spent a good 30 minutes going down the deep, dark Russian web and found a DVD rip of this movie, but it does look like that it was wiped from the internet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It starts with the moon. Very important because now a space storm. It's a brewing and it's coming and it's bringing Christmas.
Wait a minute. Stop. What were your things? What was your
correct. Yeah. So I had
your prompt and stuff?
I had storm. Winter storm technically, and this is a storm that happens in the winter. I'll have you know.
Yep.
That's very true.
It could not be the killer could not be a killer Santa, and it couldn't be a comedy. And this one, try as it might, is not funny and is not listed as a comedy anywhere on the internet.
I fully agree that while there are attempts at comedy, I think that there are also attempts at it being somewhat dramatic, somewhat thrilling. I think it's that like
tugging at your heartstrings.
That
stereo comic.
Yeah.
Yes. It's just that broad, bland, like, hey, this is a nice little movie here we got. Which is also why it's light on the horror too.
Yeah.
Well, it's almost like if It Comes at Night was shitty.
Yeah.
I haven't actually seen that, so I can't test.
I like it.
I'll
I liked
take
it. And I was going to say there is a cameo, a killer Santa, but I'm not going to count that
There was a
against
cameo,
you.
but he never kills anybody, so I figured it was okay.
Yeah, it's safe.
Yeah,
That's true.
we don't see him kill anybody. There's also a reference to Boba Hotep, which Ryan mentioned earlier.
Yes,
Those are the only two things I took away from the movie.
Oh, hold on a second. I already want to out the gate. I want to get a nomination in, and I meant to look this up earlier. The character's name, but the fucking redneck inmate.
Yeah.
Fella,
The
one with Joe Buckley fella.
so nasally.
Hey man, we will look out for them zombies.
I don't blame him. I don't blame the actor because I'll bet everybody on set was loving it.
What else is he supposed
They
to do?
fucking loved it, and I
Yeah.
fucking hated it. So what does anybody have his
It's
name?
terrible.
I have him.
Very mumbly.
I have him in my notes as redneck Bobcat Goldthwait.
That's fine. He's getting nominated. He's on the list. So that's for Greatest Grinch, the fucking character that takes you out of the moment.
Well, I don't want to spoil anything, but he was the deal breaker for my final rating for this movie.
I kind of figured he might be a bit of a he sucks.
I liked him.
I like Nick. No, bad Nick. All right. So we've got a cosmic storm a brewing. Okay, it is coming to Earth. It is bringing Christmas music. Apparently, the way it's edited, because the music like comes with the storm, it sounds like it's literally bringing Christmas music for some reason.
Yeah,
It's probably from an alien radio station.
Probably.
Oh, maybe. Looks like the Infinity Stones are shooting to Earth.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah. I think a knockoff Mariah Carey could kill.
Yeah, of course.
Just people crashing their cars into a river, hearing it whenever it comes on.
Okay, now that's funny.
Yeah.
So then we see a postcard, and the postcard. This is the very first time the editing is just puzzling because the postcard is like it's a girl and it's a woman and a girl standing next to a tree. Says "Merry Christmas, Calvin, Ella, and Tina." This is where we meet we're gonna meet Calvin. It's weird that he's not in the picture yet. So we're to assume it's a picture, but then it goes to the camera's being adjusted. Calvin's behind the camera. He's setting up because they're gonna film this for some reason. So then Calvin gets into frame, and also, do people dress like this on Christmas Eve? Is there anybody in the entire planet that puts on their Christmas
I'm sure
lingerie?
somebody does.
Yeah. I mean, hipsters. A lot of hipsters.
What, that dress
Other
up
than
for
that,
Christmas Eve?
Like this? I don't.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think hipsters do that.
Well,
Maybe in Texas. I don't know.
but also he's Calvin, the husband, is wearing what looks like a blue version of Jerry Seinfeld's puffy shirt.
Yeah.
It's very ill-fitting.
Yeah. And Tina and Ella, they're hanging out by the tree, and they decide to give Ella a gift. And they decide she can open one, so she does. And it's a reindeer bear named Mr. Bear, which we find out talks like this. It's very important for later on in the movie.
Yeah.
And just to
weird
point
thing-
it out,
Yeah.
it makes sense in the movie, but I think it was out of laziness. All of what we're seeing of this family initially is a static shot because technically it's supposed to be a home video.
Yeah.
But it's like, there's no reason you couldn't do that for the first 20 seconds to establish it and then bump out.
Cut. Yeah.
But it's
also, why did it have to happen in the first place? Because it doesn't make, who does that? No one sets up a tripod for a quick family meeting in front of the Christmas tree.
Especially when Dad is not in the mood for it, because Calvin is not in the mood.
Not even a little bit. And
I mean, it is established later that he appreciates the fact that his wife made him do this stuff.
Yeah.
But it's like, I don't even know why he had to be this much of a Grinch to begin with. It just...
He's tired.
I hate my wife. I hate my kid.
Yeah, they never really say why. Like, he's stressed from his radio job. Saying that doesn't happen. I'm saying that's it. You're stressed from your job and you're being this big of a dick. Shut the fuck up.
Dude, you got a bomb-ass wife. You got a cute little kid. Fucking enjoy that. Dude, you got a wife that dresses like a fucking whore on Christmas. Like, no offense, but from what she's wearing...
horniest Santa I've ever seen, and you're this upset.
That accent kills
I've seen hornier.
The accent killed it.
Hold on, I'm going to try and do my southern accent, which is going to come out probably British.
Oh, boy.
Calvin, it's me. Fuck it.
But that wasn't any worse than her real voice, though. I mean, it was just grating.
It's true.
I'm really bad at voices.
So we meet Mr. Bear, all right, and then the most awkward, it seems like the little girl was supposed to turn and say Merry Christmas, but forgot, and so she turns to the camera, and then they realize they were supposed to go anyway, so they decide to do it. It's very awkward. They stand there like there's a picture being taken, like he had set a timer for a picture, but there was no picture. So it's a very awkward scenario. Well, then Calvin, he's pooped. You know what I mean? He had to take a nap immediately after this.
He's tired.
He is tired. He's working in radio. It's tiring, And so he immediately hits the hay. He takes a nap on the couch, and his bitch wife is like, "Hey, it's Christmas Eve and you forgot to put up any decorations in the past month." And he's like, "I'll do it later."
Fuck off. I'm
Yeah.
I'm tired.
Yeah. And so luckily he was tired because then Ella and Tina, they decide to go look at the tree a little bit more, which is right by the window. So then they're looking out the window when our winter storm attacks.
Before we get into that, can I just derail this?
Sure.
Do writers of these shitty movies, do they know how to think?
No.
No.
Has anyone in the world ever thought, oh, yeah, people put up Christmas decorations on the house on Christmas Eve?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's a thing?
Yeah.
Well, lazy people do.
Well,
I got really hung up on this.
Not that I want to help the movie here, but I think the whole concept is that it's Christmas Eve, and all his wife wants is the Christmas lights put up, and Calvin still won't do it, even just to make her happy for Christmas.
Mm-hmm. Right, but I mean, it's Christmas Eve.
The ship has sailed.
There's still time.
The ship has sailed on putting up Christmas lights.
She's dressed all sexy, dude. She's saying, "I will bang your brains out. Just put the fucking lights up."
And he's banged her a million times at this point.
Yeah, it's boring.
They have a kid together.
He's seen her naked 1,000 times.
Joe the Virgin, I'm bored with all this vagina.
It's this,
Well, think about it. He's got probably a 6 or 7-year-old daughter. So if you do that by years, if he's getting banged once a week, that's 56 times he gets banged a year.
I'm glad
and
Joe's
you
the
multiply
one
that by 7.
working this out for us. This is probably
I'm
the
Joe.
best
Welcome
that
to
he's
the
doing.
bang bank. I'll tell you how much bang you'll get.
Yeah.
The bang for your buck. That's what he could call it.
The bang for your buck.
Oh,
There we
my
go.
God, that's perfect.
All right,
Now
we
we're
can
laughing.
cancel the podcast now. We're good.
Yeah, we did it.
Side note, this is the first time I think I've actually seen Joe's face as he's trying to work something through or be on his computer, and it is as blank as you would imagine.
No. Okay, so he's fucked
No,
her
no,
390
We're
I'm
done,
getting
Joe.
The bit's over.
I-
The
We
bit's
did
over.
that, Joe.
I'm gonna want
The
some more.
movies is PG. This is for families.
I'm gonna want some more on-the-fly math from you later, Joe.
Yeah.
So moving on, because we're like a minute into the movie.
Yes. Oh, God.
So, moving on, Calvin, he's a curmudgeon, he's napping, and then he hears there's thunder and lightning. What's happening? Something happens because Calvin turns around and they're both planking, and it's a problem because people don't do that anymore because it is now 2000 and whatever 13. When did this come out?
2012.
Yeah,
2012.
That was prime planking.
Actually, that was
time.
probably right in the planking era, huh? So then he checks on him briefly goes to call, and nobody's answering. He's calling the cops. He's calling whoever, anyone with flashing lights. He's trying to get a hold of them, and they're not answering. So he just accepts they're dead. He doesn't put them in the car, try to drive them to the hospital. He doesn't try to get them help. He just puts them on the bed because they're dead. Nothing you can do now.
They're sleepy.
Yeah.
At least start just pressing on their bellies or something.
Try something, honestly.
It's probably
yeah.
just diarrhea. Just get the poo-poo out.
He puts him in the bed, and then he goes to cry in the other room, and that's when, is Tina the little girl, or is Ella?
Yeah,
Tina.
Tina's
She gets
daughter.
up and right out the window.
Hold on. Did you? After
he
he tries
goes
to call the cops,
outside.
he runs outside, and
Oh, I missed. Yeah, I forgot. Yeah.
yeah, he's out in the street, and you see bodies laying around. In particular, a woman spread eagle, and you see her fucking underwear.
Yeah. Also, there's like people next to it. There is like someone next to a car, which were to be believed that they just fall down, right, when they get hit by the lightning. So did she pull over, get out to look at the lightning, and then fall over?
It's established that it's going on for probably like 10, 20 seconds.
Yeah.
So anybody who's awake at the time wants to go gawk at the light.
I mean, one could argue also it is Christmas Eve and they see these lights in the sky and maybe it's like, oh, it's a, Santa Claus Christmas type of thing. And
Yeah. Oh, the city went all out this year.
We also see like when he's out there, there's a lot of lights around the neighborhood, which is weird because later he has to go on this whole montage to collect new lights. Like every single house next to him had lights.
Yes, it does.
Maybe the zombies tore them down.
Yeah, it could have.
They got wrapped up in like the hand and then it ripped it off the. Yeah.
Got tangled up. That happens. So yeah, he pretty much accepts that there's no help, and so he goes, takes a good cry, and while he does, Tina jumps out the window. And then he goes outside again, and his buddy's there. Yes, his buddy. Ray's there, and Ray,
coworker too.
Oh yeah. Oh, I probably missed that. I've watched this 3 times and I missed that. And Ray is also. How come we don't dress up for Christmas, guys? I'm starting to think that we're the weird ones. Yeah, because everyone in this movie who likes Christmas, like he's wearing a Christmas tree on his head. He's got like presents like tacked to his shirt. How come we aren't doing that?
Because I put my sexy Grinch outfit on the hot cycle in my washer and it shrinked it.
Oh,
And
that
so
makes sense.
when I put it on, it almost popped one of my testicles.
But his buddy Ray shows up and is like covered in blood. He's got a hammer and he's like, I need your phone. And then he's like, it doesn't work, Ray. And then he tries it anyway and it doesn't work.
It's real tiny now.
Yeah, let me get in there. And then he tells a story about how he had to kill Tina because Tina showed up and bit him and he had to hit her with a hammer. And obviously Calvin's not thrilled about it.
Well, and this is the point where I was convinced that this is not a comedy film.
Yeah.
Because Ray is definitely supposed to be the funny, wacky coworker guy, and it's either the worst writing and terrible acting and nothing lands, or it was not meant to and it didn't. And so, like, because like there's a moment where I don't remember if I'm jumping the gun here or not, but it's around the end of this bit where Ray says something to the effect of, well, this is the worst Christmas ever.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's clearly supposed to be like the trailer line, but it's like, this is not funny. Like,
No,
All the above.
I took it as it was supposed to be funny and it was just flat.
Maybe.
I thought it because he's wearing that fucking hat. I mean, you know what I mean? He's got a point, but he's covered in blood. It's that juxtaposition of goofy, but he's covered in violence. And also the fact that Ray, in the storyline, Ray is in his basement or wherever he's at his home and he's wrapping Christmas presents, and a child, not any child, mind you, a small child that he knows it's his coworker and good friend's daughter, comes in his house and starts biting his leg. His first thing is to kill her with a hammer.
Ray lucked
He
out.
doesn't know there's zombie shit going on yet.
Yeah.
He's just sitting there on Christmas Eve, and a child that he knows comes and starts biting him. You would like push her off. Yes, she was probably drawing blood, and it was a violent bite because she's a monster. But he just killed her with a hammer
Ray's got an edge.
immediately.
Yeah. Well, he always said she needs a bit of old-fashioned discipline.
and when he's beating her to death with the hammer's hitting. There's like a
light behind him.
yeah, one of those like round light work lights that's like
Swinging.
hanging down, and it's swinging around, and like they even added a little ding sound effect when he hits it.
But
Yeah,
that was
so-
funny. I like that.
One of the many nuanced, like perfect touches of this movie is that little
Oh
ding
yeah.
sound.
Yep.
There's a lot of nuance to this movie.
Yes.
And Ella is, well, she's a zombie now. She's like staring out the window and she's like, and then she turns around and they get into a tussle.
But don't forget to mention that
the lightning in the eyeballs.
Yeah, that this reoccurring thing where lightning zips across the eyeballs.
Yes, 'cause it got
in the worst
inside him.
overlay possible.
But this is where it sets up he won't let, because Ray could have, well, no, he wouldn't have lived. He was already bit, but he might not have died so gruesomely because he wanted to kill Ella with a hammer. And Calvin's like, no, get the blanket, wrap her up. And we're going to do some festive Christmas light wrapping. We're going to wrap her up. I don't care that Ray died.
He says, not the hammer, Ray.
Yeah, they do a bit out of it.
Calvin doesn't show a lot of emotion at Ray's death. So I'm starting to think he didn't really like this coworker.
No.
Yeah. He borrowed Charles' hammer one too many times, and he never gave it back, and that's why he said don't use the hammer.
He was just trying to embed it in Tina's head so she could take it home with her.
What did he say?
You said Charles. His name's Calvin.
Oh, well, whatever. Same thing. This movie sucks,
Charles,
so it's
Calvin,
whatever.
doesn't matter.
Don't get angry, Joe, because you made a mistake.
No, I know. I'm just saying, it's the movie's fault. It didn't imbibe me with the names.
It didn't imbibe me with the names?
Yes, yeah.
Joe, words are not your toys to just play with.
No. I believe language evolves. Language is constantly evolving in humanity.
You're devolving it the other direction.
Joe's like, I don't believe in words having concrete definitions. Anyway, handsome Joe, what do we have next?
We got lots of stuff coming up, but this is not my part. It's still Zach's part. I did not write this down.
All right, then shut your part so Zach can finish.
So, so basically, then Ray dies. Calvin wraps up Ella, and then he looks out the window, and there's a zombie out there, and it kind of dawns on him. This is no good. This is bad.
This is no good.
This is bad, and it's only going to get worse, probably. And then we get the title sequence. Again, the moon, and just they put nothing into this. There's Arial font. It just says drive-in
They got
movies.
3 whole fonts in this title.
That's a good
fucking
point.
awful.
It looks like a PowerPoint. They forgot to put one together, so they whipped it together with whatever they could find.
Yeah, in the opening credit sequence, when we see the groups of zombies and how they walk and shuffle, and I hated it, and it immediately made me think of Elaine's dance in Seinfeld. These zombies were doing Elaine's dance. That's the herky-jerky
full body
movement that
dry
they're doing.
heave.
Yeah, and I immediately hated it.
I'm trying to see if I could find any of the fonts by just putting in the word Christmas or dead.
I guarantee if you go to defont.com and you just type in Christmas, you'll find half of the ones on here, and then you go to the horror catalog of it, you'll find the other two. It's literally first page of defont.com. Maybe you sort by 50 instead of 25, but you'll find it.
Okay, so it's my turn. Sorry. Okay, so after the title card, we begin a drawn-out credit sequence featuring what it's essentially we're positing that time has passed because there's zombies everywhere, and they're the shambling Romero zombies. And so, I mean, it's very specifically hashed out later. But the idea here is that if you saw the lights, you turn into a zombie. Fine. Except that what we're about to learn is that there are 2 men and then basically a prison of individuals. And that's it. I don't believe that for a fucking second that 99% of the world's population was outside looking at those lights. There are so many people in warehouses working, sleeping, taking naps.
But then you turn, if you get bit, you turn,
Yeah.
I guess, but the world felt too empty. It felt too zombified.
Yeah, the only ones who got to live were just the layabouts, the shiftless, just weirdos who were, just passing out.
If this was a movie
Joes.
about Joes on Christmas in July fighting zombies, you got me. I'm in.
Plus, again, we have to remember it's Christmas Eve, and a lot of people were not at work. They were inside with their friends and family and stuff. So most people, I think more people didn't see the lights than did see.
Although I think the reason I will defend the movie in this scenario, if I saw a bunch of flashing lights outside, blue, green, yellow, I would get up from where I was and go look.
Those are all my favorite colors.
Because the reason Calvin doesn't look is because he's asleep, turned away. As long as if you were near a window during this winter storm, then I would think that you would turn to look at it. That's just
Well, one way, yeah, like in there, like I mentioned, one way they could have sold that maybe a little harder is make that scene last a little longer, where they're seeing the lights, and then Calvin's laying on the couch, he doesn't care, and his daughter and his wife go outside, and then we see a shot of the neighborhood, and everybody's kind of walking outside, and people are saying,
Yeah.
"Is it Santa's sleigh?" I mean, you could have definitely played that up, that like everybody kind of went outside except for Calvin, because he was sleeping on the couch.
But Zach, what about all the people that were at the screenings, the 3D screenings of Wrath of the Titans in 2012? Because there were billions of people seeing that movie.
They died because of the movie.
Yeah. And
Okay,
even why? I think Christmas with the Cranks was about that time too, so.
right.
No, that was like 06.
No.
Okay.
So we're still in the credits here. We're 10 minutes in. So we're basically they took the camera out on production, and they went to like some forest next to a lake or a river, and they just shot like the 6 same zombies they had in different levels of shots in the darkness, silhouetted, up close, medium shots. It's fucking trash. I fucking hated it so much. And you see the credit font is again unnecessarily ratchet, and they add this dumb jitter effect. Unnecessary. I don't even care if it's fucking Arial. Just give me the most basic font so these people can actually get the credit they don't deserve anyways. It's annoying, it's dumb, but none of it holds a candle to the worst fucking opening credits track I've ever heard in my goddamn life.
Yep.
It is annoying. It's offensive. It makes the credits feel longer. The vocals are unnecessarily distorted. And if anything, it belongs in like a crappy indie zombie game as like the main menu music. I fucking hated it so much. I think it's called Aftermath or something. And I tried to find it so I could hate it and put it on my phone and then listen to it all the time.
I liked it.
Did you check the freemusicarchive.com?
Yeah,
Yeah, it could
I'll
be
get there after I get off the font.
Yeah, good.
But I'm legitimately still looking. But anyways, and then at the end of this, if the credits didn't suck enough, what is clearly an accidental shot of the actual director running towards the camera with his arms out, like, what's going on?
That was him too.
And
With his late show with David Letterman shirt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it freeze frames on him, and it does the jitter effect on him where it's like, blah, 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 blah. It's fucking terrible.
He's probably shouting like, "Hey, get away from that craft service! It's not time to eat yet."
I mean, he might as well have been, because I don't know where else the fucking money
Why
went.
are you eating in costume?
Okay, so we're back to Calvin. And Calvin is watching Christmas home videos, not sentimental one bit. It's him giving his wife a nightie. She's already dressed sexy, and it's just like a standard pink nightie you would see on somebody in like a 70s sitcom. And she's like, "What? I'm not gonna wear this. What's next? You're gonna give me a stripper pole?" And ha ha ha, whatever. It's fucking trash. And so he kind of like, oh, we could tell he misses his wife. Boo-hoo. Because, oh no, is she gone? Oh, we assume she's gone. So he goes to make some coffee, and he goes into the fridge to get bottled water because the water's not running anymore. And for some reason, the fridge is just filled with bottled water, and there's a dog food bowl in there. what could that be?
Maybe he got a dog.
So he goes over, he starts
Like
pouring
I
the
Am
bottle-
Legend.
He starts pouring the bottled water into the coffee maker thing, and then we hear Ella's voice. Oh my gosh. He turns around, and he's wearing a different shirt. And then we realize it's a flashback. Okay. Ella is worried about him drinking too much coffee and going to work again. Like, apparently this is like after hours, not his normal work schedule. He works at a radio station. He's clearly a disc jockey. And he mentioned a little bit of world building here in his life. He mentions that the radio station is struggling. They were originally a 24-hour station, and now they're not. But Ella's, all she's worried about is the lights. Are the lights going to go up? Are the Christmas lights going to go up? And this dude is talking about how he's like, he alludes to having to have called the electric company because they couldn't pay their electric bill.
And they just got to pull up a bunch of shitty lights outside.
So that's why he's so tired and doesn't want to put the lights up. I still think he should have put the lights up for his banging ass wife. But like, clearly this is such a problem that they can't even afford their fucking bills. So it's like, I get it. The dude's stressed. But anyways, he's playing in this flashback. He's planning on going to work because apparently there's some emergency at the station. Calvin relents to I'm going to put the lights up that evening. So I think we're alluding to, I don't know if this is supposed to be earlier that same day that we just saw or not, whatever. But anyways, he's thinking about it. Oh my gosh, what a wonderful Christmas memory. And then he immediately goes over the sink and spits his coffee out after we come out of the flashback. So how sweet is that?
I thought he put like a bunch of booze in it. I didn't realize it was a water bottle. I thought he was like making his coffee with booze.
No.
Okay.
He's putting vodka in the thing?
Yeah, I thought that's what that was. Yeah, I thought he was pouring vodka into his coffee maker.
Why
Really
though?
strong coffee.
Why wouldn't he just drink it from a vodka
Because Joe doesn't
bottle?
know what coffee's made of.
I know what coffee is made of water, but I thought he was mixing it with vodka because he had a long day of work ahead of
But
him.
why would he boil the vodka with the coffee pot instead of just pouring it into the coffee?
Which would also take the alcohol content
Yeah,
out
he
of
was
it.
a shiftless drunk. I don't know.
No, he's not a shift.
Okay.
Wait, why would you even think he's a shiftless drunk?
Well, because I thought he had a whole bottle of vodka and he was pouring it in the coffee.
Why would
Wait,
vodka
no,
be in water
Zach,
bottles?
Zach, I got
It's
it.
just an endless
It's
circle.
because Joe would never have water in his fridge. That's why.
Yeah.
He's like, I don't know
I
why
thought he
they.
had cold vodka.
For
Yes.
some reason, he must have emptied his Mountain Dew containers and filled them up with vodka.
Uh-huh.
So anyways, Calvin goes outside and immediately begins feeding his dead wife dog food in a dog bowl. So while she's scarfing down the dog food, Calvin begins a trend that I immediately hated and grew to hate more throughout the movie. He calls her Pookie Bear.
Pookie Bear.
And a word to all directors out there. If you see someone look uncomfortable saying something on set and they literally can't make it sound natural, take it the fuck out.
Absolutely.
It's the
Take
same
it
as
out.
it's the same as in, like in movies when there's siblings in the room and they're like, "What's up, sis?" or "Hey, bro," because they have to let you know. Like
Yes.
maybe they thought that we forgot who she was.
Oh, I
Step,
assume
bro, I'm stuck in the laundry machine.
I
Yeah.
assumed that it's in the short story, and there's some connection between him calling her Pookie Bear and the teddy bear, and like they felt like, well, it's integral to the story. We got to make it so that the author doesn't get upset. I'd say don't make the fucking movie. It's not worthy of a movie. That's what I would say.
I 100% agree. Screenwriters need to understand, it's a blueprint. Your dialogue is also a blueprint. Not fucking set in stone. If it doesn't sound good coming out of the actor, we change it.
Yes.
Film doesn't give a fuck about your writing. Yeah.
So, anyways, he says something about how I love you and I appreciate the Christmas videos. They're nice. Outside his house is a little blue generator, and he, again, gingerly taps on the top of it. It does nothing. There is still a humming generator sound throughout that whole scene because it's either the truck was already running or the generator continues to run. And so you fucked up. Anyways, he hops in his truck and he starts talking to a teddy bear that's in the passenger seat. They have to drive through, like his home is like a compound. There's like a chain link fence and chain link gate that swings open. And as he's leaving, he very specifically, there's a zombie that's coming up to his door as he's driving out. And he specifically nudges the zombie away with a bat, the end of a bat. He just pushes it. Because Calvin doesn't like to kill these people. They're his neighbors, his townsfolk. He knows these people, and he doesn't see the need to kill them because, and they don't seem very smart. They're not fast. They're just like the shambling zombie. The gate starts to close, and I don't know why a zombie's still trying to go up to the gate if they're trying to get in the house. I don't know what's in there, but this female zombie goes up to the gate. Her arm gets stuck in it, and it keeps closing, and it rips her arm off. Really quick, I don't know if we'll be able to get all of our movies. How many movies involve a arm, limb, or hand being removed? Because it seems
my
about
gosh,
90% of them.
There was
More than there are.
It's an easy effect is probably the thing. You just you stick your arm, you do this with your shirt, and
For
then you
the
get an arm.
podcast audience at home, Joe stuck his entire arm in his shirt.
Yeah. I mean, that's 2 seconds. I mean, that's an easy effect, and then you just get a fake arm.
And then I also love that we have Nick on this podcast, yet Joe is the one that's taking it upon himself to explain to us effects.
Please, Joe, show me how they do it in the
2
movies.
seconds. It's 2 seconds.
I'd really
Nick.
love to know.
It just takes 2 seconds.
Just 2 seconds. That's great to know.
It might actually save you a lot of time.
I'll pass that information along.
Well, I'm just saying.
There's a lot of people I know who would be very happy to know that it only takes 2 seconds.
Yeah, just pass it along. You get a mannequin arm, you put some blood on the end, and you stick your shirt like this, and you're done. Boom.
Yeah, and it's cheap.
Yeah, it is. It's cheap.
Okay, so Calvin drives down a road past his buddy Ray, who is still dolled up in his Christmas swag from the prologue. Calvin goes to a used car lot and pulls out a map of the vehicles. And this, I'll give the film some credit. This is smart. I like the thinking here. He's got a little map of the car lot, and he's keeping track of which vehicles he's taken fuel from because he's siphoning fuel out of them. Because I'll be honest, I don't know if they always are supposed to work. I've never understood how people get gas out of a gas station when society has crumbled. So I appreciated that. Like that, I thought that was smart.
Right. Well, before you go on praising it too much, just one of those things. I wonder, because he's siphoning gas with his mouth, the old fashioned way, where you get a bunch of poisonous gasoline in your mouth, and you die, which is great. But he clearly has like a special container, a special gas can that he's carrying around with him
for siphoning.
But in the same aisle of the hardware store where he presumably found that, there's a pump. You can get a pump to pump the gas out. You don't.
But Nick, the audience won't know because they know that you have to go out of a tube and suck the gas out to get it going.
Yeah. Gotta suck the tube.
Gotta suck the tube.
I think it's a long hose too. I mean, it's a long one. Most movies, when I see characters siphon, it's a much shorter length of hose. I mean, he had to have been sucking a while.
Oh yeah. You don't need that much.
The extended cut is him sucking on that tube for 5 minutes.
I would have just fucked the map and then just like say fuck the map and just like leave the vehicle like canisters open and just the gas door.
Put a lot of thought into this.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying leave the gas door open so that way you know you've been there.
Yeah, the first time we've seen this used in a film and we think it's smart, it's not smart enough because Joe could have done it better.
Yeah.
You didn't have the thought to do the map to begin with. But
also, Joe, what if one of the stupid shambling zombies knocked the gas door shut? Then you'd be sitting there sucking for 40. Would you be? If they knocked it shut,
it's bump into
it's
it.
not hard. It's not like it's a challenging thing to knock the gas tank shut. Would you be sucking for 3 hours on an empty fucking tube if you thought that? If you were like, well, this one was shut.
Yeah, this was shut. Yeah, I mean, I didn't get to this yet.
Bulletproof.
In Joe's defense, he's only been getting gas for about a year, so
Yeah, exactly.
And he hasn't gone anywhere this year, so he's probably gotten gas twice in this 12-month period.
Well, he's gotten 0 oil changes. We know that much.
Yeah.
And to prove Zach's point, we get a shot of a zombie going up and kicking a tire of a vehicle, kind of like that whole like this beauty will take you 100,000 miles. Checking it out. Easily could have bumped into the lid to close the gas or the whatever.
I didn't think that far ahead, and I'm sorry.
Okay, so Calvin tells the teddy bear to stay in the truck. He gets the gas, blah, blah, blah. And he brings with him a canister for the siphoning of the gas, but also, again, specifically, he used the bat in the truck to nudge the zombie away. He now brings an axe with no blade. But as Calvin wraps up getting gas, a zombie triggers a car alarm, causing dozens, if not hundreds of zombies to run for him. He's easily overwhelmed by the zombies as his trademark no-kill rule comes back to bite him in the ass. He swings his bladeless axe with all his strength, but it does no good as he is overwhelmed. The horde of zombies, now crawling and jumping over the vehicles to pile on him, have taken Calvin to the ground. In such a graphic way that you would wonder why it would be in this film, we see Calvin torn limb by limb, his gut wrenched open by the hands of the zombies. He's bleeding everywhere and his entrails are pulled from his body. He looks up at the sky and with his last breath, he says, "Merry Christmas, Pookie Bear." Smash cut to silent credits.
Hell yeah.
I wish, if only.
Yeah. It would have been a nice short film.
You got a different version than me.
Gosh, sorry. Yeah, guys, that's
I
not
think
what
you got
happened
a
at
different
all.
one.
No, instead, he triggers an alarm, and one female zombie walks up to him, and he just nudges her away with his stick, and he gets in the truck and drives away. So, yeah, some stock Christmas instrumental music plays. Calvin arrives at my 94.7 FM radio station featuring such channels as Kicks 105, the country leader, K-Fox 95.5, all hit music, News Talk 860 AM, and Q107 classic rock. And then Calvin walks behind a Generac generator, presumably to pour gas into it, as a goofy business zombie falls over a nearby hedge, and I am out.
All right, here we go. Calvin goes into his job at the radio station. Now, I am somewhat biased, but when it comes to radio stuff and movies, I'm very particular. And this movie does one of the cardinal sins of movie radio station scenes. It has Calvin or any broadcaster talking into the microphone without his headphones. without his headphones. He can't hear himself. He can't hear if there's music playing. So immediately my dander was up. But he begins his broadcast day, gets on the radio. Of course, it's implied that nobody's listening. And he says, "Hey, good morning, snappers." Much like, of course, Robin Williams with Good Morning Vietnam. And I think that may be one of the first times we hear them referred to as snappers.
Yeah, I think so.
I think it's the first time, yeah.
And so we now know, similar to The Walking Dead with their walkers, snappers are going to be what we refer to these zombies at. And I laughed because snapper, growing up in my day as a teenager, was also always a reference to vagina.
Yeah,
it's one of the many names for vagina. Snapper, of course, a thong is a snapper wrapper, etc.
So did you just laugh every time?
The first 4 times, and then I was irritated.
that's 3 too many.
So Calvin gets on the air and he does a cynical broadcast because no one's listening. He drops the F-bomb. He does say the weather, it's going to be so hot. It's like 2 rats fucking in a wool sock, which I've heard before in my life. And it's I enjoy that. For some reason, I laugh at that, just like I laughed in the past. He says he's going to play one of his wife's favorite Christmas songs. And then he talks over the whole thing. If he was truly going to play the song and it wasn't background music for a bit, he wouldn't be talking over the lyrics. Anyway, he does this whole bit where he talks how sad he is about his wife, blah, 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 blah. And that's when Ryan and Brian comes in. Hey, good morning. Welcome to the Ryan and Brian Morning Circus. What a morning it is. 72 degrees and rain, rain, rain. Now, that is good news for the cucumber fields, but bad news for the beach bums. Now, Christmas with the Dead rolls on this morning. Our hero in the sad shell, Calvin, is lamenting the zombification of his best gal and his rugrat. The entire listening area has become a brain-eating parking lot. It is a grim sight to be sure. So let's spread a little cheer. Give Ryan and Brian a call right now, 555-1213. That's 555-1213. 15th snapper to get through scores a lifetime supply of flesh to munch on. Good luck, snappers. And here's another homegrown Christmas song from Christmas with the Dead. It's Ryan and Brian. There you go, it's a little Ryan and Brian for you.
Yay!
So Calvin does his little radio broadcast, and then it cuts to him. He's looking through boxes of supplies of canned food, and it's the first time we see a running kind of goof that everything that would have a logo on it, from soda dispensing machines and soda fountains and cans of beer. They all have these cheaply created fake labels around them that say like premium beer and canned tuna fish and that sort of thing. He realizes he doesn't have a whole lot of food left, not a lot of canned food left. And now we go back to him in the vehicle again. We got very, very little actually of him in the studio. And now we're back to him in the truck and he's driving. And he's driving through more shots of zombies. And he shows up at some place. I don't know where it was. He shows up kind of in the middle of nowhere, maybe a farm, something, a lot of some sort. He gets out of his truck and immediately he sees a shambling zombie shot in the head. Like, what the fuck? I'm the only living guy here. Who is shooting the zombies? He turns around and he sees an older gentleman with a rifle shoot the zombie, and then he starts taking on shots himself. The old guy's shooting at him. So Calvin dives behind his truck and he starts hollering out to the guy, "Look, I'm alive. I'm not a zombie. I'm talking to you. I'm a real person. Stop shooting. Why are you shooting at me?" So the guy goes up to Calvin and they have a dialogue scene back and forth. Calvin says, "Look, I don't like you shooting these guys. These are people to me." The old man says, "No, these are zombies. These are not human beings anymore. They're monsters." Blah, 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 blah. Long story short, we find out the guy's name is George McDonald. It is short for GM, although he did say he was a garbage man. So there's a little goof where when he says his name is GM, Calvin assumes it was for garbage man. But no, it stands for George McDonald. He's wearing a pair of rough 3D glasses around his neck, and he's got a work shirt on with the name tag that says Karen. Calvin says, wait a minute, you're not Karen, or that's not your name. And GM says, "Not my shirt." And normally I would have laughed. If the delivery would have been a little tighter, I might have laughed at that.
This seems like something that was in the book, like a character introduction. It's a fun little moment to give him give him like that one liner. That's a great goof. Except he wears that shirt for the rest of the movie, and it leads to more people questioning why is he wearing a shirt with the name Karen on it. It was annoying. Honestly, it was just annoying. Change the shirt. Just change it.
And there's a
Well,
lot
it's not
of
like they're not doing laundry. That might be the cleanest shirt he has now.
How did they do laundry 200 years ago?
Maybe there's no river in Texas.
I think what Joe's saying is that because GM's mom is probably dead, there's no way the laundry can get done.
Yeah.
That's gotta be
That's what
it.
he's trying to insinuate.
They don't have money for Tide Pods anymore, I'm saying.
The one living person who's king is the one whose mother is alive.
Yeah.
I have an endless supply of food and clean clothes.
Yeah?
I got the only mommy left.
all right. Anyway, so yeah, we were introduced to this brand new character, GM George McDonald, and he has been living. This is how we start to learn that this has affected more than just this town, more than just. I mean, it was implied, but we never really got any proof that this was more than just this town. But it's happened everywhere, and George McDonald kind of talks about he's been out in the world, he's run into other human beings that have not been turned into zombies, and they're not good. Most of those guys are surviving because they kind of dig this. They're the kind of personality that wanted to thrive in an unruly society. They enjoy this apocalypse. And so they begin to bond, and we've got a sequence where they're drinking some beers, and then a zombie kid comes out of nowhere. GM shoots him in the head. He says, hey, I don't really like shooting the kids, but hey, you want to help me load these bodies into the back of the truck? We got to get rid of these, dispose of these bodies. So they put the bodies in the back of the truck. GM says, or GM's truck. GM says, this truck hasn't been running that good anyway, so let's just get rid of it. The truck and the bodies at the same time. He pulls out 2 grenades. And that's how they get rid of the body. They throw the grenades in the back of the truck. It explodes the truck and, of course, incinerates all the corpses.
I don't understand, why does he have to get rid of the bodies?
He's a garbage man. He can't just leave trash lying around.
Well, and then the other thing to that line of thinking is GM's just moving through town. I mean, we get the impression that he's just kind of drifting. He's drifting through. He's not from the town, and so why would he care anyway? But
I'm surprised he wasted his grenades on just some bodies.
Yeah,
a grenade has to be extremely valuable in the end of the world.
Yeah, and where did he get a hold of those grenades? I mean, where's he, stockpiling them, etc.
I guess maybe he hit up like an army surplus store or something.
Or an armory, an actual
armory. They don't
armory.
have active grenades at an army surplus store, Joe.
I thought they kept them by the MREs and the vests.
right next to the fat man atom bomb. It's just fucking there, hanging on the wall.
Yeah.
You can go ride it.
Well, I believe in the Second Amendment. I think I should have a bomb.
Yeah.
Well, you do. It's called the man with no brain.
Hey.
I think that's a hit.
Yeah. Okay. Where the hell am I? All right. I'm almost.
They're driving in the truck.
Okay. Yeah. So then they leave. They get into Calvin's truck and they go back to Calvin's house. And they have no more dialogue where we're getting to know GM, and there's some quirky dialogue, but also along the lines of, you need to start realizing that the world is the way it is. This isn't going away. This isn't a virus. These people are dead. This is life now forever. And you need to start looking at the zombies as being monsters that they're not your family and friends, in other words. But of course, we know that GM's going to be in for real shock when they get back to Calvin's house and sees that he's got his wife chained up. Which he does, and he feeds her dog food. And that's the next scene we see is he's feeding his wife dog food. She is barking too, which I thought was an odd choice for the zombie.
I didn't realize this, but when they're going to Calvin's house, it's a pizza boy, and he's got a pizza box that still has pizza in it.
Yeah.
And okay, other than the pizza being in it, I do like the idea of the zombie still holding the pizza box.
He's been trying to deliver it for 6.5 months. He just can't find the address.
So wait, did Calvin order a pizza that night?
Yeah, Christmas pizza.
Because he was going to be on the roof anyways, so he's like, I got to eat some pizza.
Yeah, there's this good little bit of dialogue too about, I thought funny anyway, where he talks when GM and Calvin are kind of talking about the idea of these are zombies, these are not people. And he doesn't hit Ray. He's driving home. Calvin sees Ray just like he did on the way to work. He's wandering in the street. He purposely misses Ray. And GM is like, why didn't you hit him? You missed him. And he says, no, man, that's Ray. And that kind of gets him onto the thing of them not being human. He says, well, does Ray come over and play chess? Do you have him over for cookouts? It's just this little bit of dialogue that I actually liked. Liked.
And like, I appreciate, again, like, I hate giving this movie credit. I know what they're trying to do. They're trying to set up, Calvin won't change on his own. There's nobody else there to teach him lessons or him to have memories with to learn something from. And so it's like he finds another warm body who has a clearly distinctive, different point of view on this situation. But I don't negate Calvin's perspective wholeheartedly after GM shows up, because I get it. Like, if I was the only person and my concern was being killed by these slow, idiotic things that clearly can't really break in, they don't work in packs all that much. Like, you know what? I wouldn't mind seeing them on my way, rather than be Will Smith and talking to a mannequin. I'd rather talk to something that's got a little bit of movement in them.
I actually thought this middle chunk was the only interesting part of the movie, because the beginning's trash. The whole
It's not the middle at all.
Well, I'm saying this chunk. I thought the ethics of living in a zombie apocalypse.
We're in the second act. I'll give them that.
Yeah. I'm just saying this chunk.
By 3 minutes, we're in the middle chunk.
Yeah.
They get back to Calvin's house. We see that he feeds his wife dog food. She barks. And then we get a little moment that could have been more, but it doesn't go anywhere. Is that GM's kind of looking around Calvin's house, and he comes upon a puzzle that is on a table, and it's all been completed except for one little piece in the middle, and the puzzle piece is next to the puzzle. And he kind of picks it up and just kind of solemnly completes the puzzle. I was expecting Calvin to come running in and say, "Get your hands off that." With the idea of his daughter on Christmas Eve was putting that puzzle together, and when all the shit happened, she had that one piece left.
One piece off.
Exactly, and he didn't, and he left it there. But it's never returned to again. So they were trying to say something else with that. Maybe that GM is here to put the pieces of the puzzle of Calvin's life back together. I don't know, but there was a reason it lingered so long on his hand picking up the piece and fixing the puzzle, but it's never returned to again. And then the fellas sit down for some more dialogue and some more character development, and that's me.
Yep, I got this section now. All right, so I'm going to try to go quick on this.
Everybody get ready for the cliff notes of the cliff notes.
No, you are next? I am next, aren't I? I am next, Joseph Robert Buckley.
Okay, sorry. Okay.
Yes.
Yours starts with the decorating montage, right,
Joe?
Joe?
Yes, it does.
Okay,
It does.
thank
I've got all
God.
that. Yeah, I am. Yeah, okay.
I was nervous there for a moment.
No, it's all good. I just jumped the gun.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
So, oh boy. So yeah, he's trying to feed his zombie bride. GM is not having it. He's trying to get him to snap out of it. They start talking about why they specifically weren't turned into zombies and everyone else was. And in my notes I keep calling him Karen because I couldn't remember his initials.
I did the same thing.
So I've got Karen figures it's because they didn't see the lights. They mentioned that Tina, his daughter, was talking about the lights when it all happened. And then this is where we find out why Karen survived, why GM wasn't a zombie. He says, "I was watching a 3D movie. I like them. They're coming back." And so I was curious. What do you think he was watching?
Avatar. It had to be Avatar.
Well, I've got some other 2011 3D films pulled up here. We got The Green Hornet, starring Seth Rogen.
Hugo.
Hugo is another one. We've also got Justin Bieber, Never Say Never, the 3D concert film. Drive Angry 3D. Drive Angry shot in 3D would have been out by this time.
Okay.
But personally, I think he was watching Marge Needs Moms.
Oh,
I was thinking
that was big.
I was thinking that too because he's specifically wearing the red and blue glasses.
The red and blue, yep. Yeah.
And I didn't know, I can think of two movies I know definitely had the option to watch 3D at home at that time in red and blue. And that was Friday the 13th Part 3 and the My Bloody Valentine 3D remake. Those versions did have the glasses that came with that. Where you didn't need a 3D TV and you didn't have the polarized glasses.
Yeah, he's a big fan of Freddy's Dead. Nightmare Part 6.
This is like right before 3D at home kind of started happening.
Yeah, I mean you could do it in children's movies like Spy Kids 3 would have a 3D version shit like that.
Yeah, that was another one that would have had that release at that time. So
He could have been watching any of those.
Yeah, a very Harold and Kumar 3D Christmas came out that year too.
Oh, for sure.
Ooh, yeah.
So anyway, so Karen or GM firmly believes that his old red and blue 3D glasses saved his life. Which is very sure, whatever.
Well, it makes sense. Like whenever you have a solar apocalypse, or a solar eclipse.
All these solar apocalypses we have. You gotta put
whenever you
glasses
have
on.
one.
You're supposed to put on the shitty cardboard and like the mirror in it.
Karen, or GM, however, is only concerned with the fence that he built, because he built this big fence around, and we never get any explanation of how he did it, only that he did it one piece at a time, and that he had company, which, fine, whatever. So GM starts trying to get him to, he's like, come on, just kill your wife. She's gone. Like, she's gone. It's not her. She's a zombie. She's never coming back. If somehow she does come back, she's going to hate it because she's going to be all rotting and she's probably going to die anyway. Just shoot her. Just get it over with.
She was always nagging at you. She was always saying, make the pot roast. It was awful.
Yeah, she was always interrupting your portions of the podcast. Just shoot her. So it's through this whole conversation that he eventually, Karen lets it slip that music does something to the zombies and basically brings them back to closer to being human or something. So then they cut and we're up on, I believe it's GM's house or some kind of shack.
I think so, yeah.
And it's kind of out in the middle of a field near the woods, and they're up on the roof, and they've got like a boombox, and he starts playing this music, and all these zombies shuffle out and start like kind of doing the Elaine dance, like Ryan said. But a whole... Yeah, the whole horde of them, he says, they like something with a hard beat and loud drums.
I fucking hated this track so much.
Well, they couldn't get the rights to Thriller. They could not do the Michael Jackson estate.
See,
that's why.
That's my take on this, is that if you got like if this was like a Zombieland Christmas edition, I think you really got something fun here.
That would have made for a better sequel.
But we could talk about, that's going to be my wrap-up thing, is that this just needs the Hollywood treatment.
Yeah.
Because that a lot of the bad things are solved immediately with a higher budget. So they're up on the roof of GM's house, blasting the music. Zombies come out, they're all dancing. It's real dumb. He says, this holds their attention like a naked lady in church. Which I don't know if we're doing quotable quip again, but I'd like to formally put that up there.
Yeah,
we could put that down as honorary. It's an honorary award.
Honorary award, yeah. The zombies are dancing over to the shack. They're like, oh my god, they remember being human. Music makes them human. Like, there's this whole thing about Calvin's like, my wife.
Yeah, somebody's listed in the credits as being the zombie dance choreographer.
Yeah, so don't quit your day job, folks.
So yeah, somebody wanted credit for this nonsense.
Yeah, I don't.
It's an IMDb credit. It's just as good as any other role.
I mean, I have zombies writhe around for a few minutes, and we find out that Karen will sometimes do this and shoot them while they're dancing, just to pick some off. Then we learn that if you shut the music off, they start going wild and they start like attacking each other. They get all riled up, and then they're out for blood. Then we go back to Calvin's house, and whoops, we missed Christmas again. He goes over to the calendar. He's like, oh man.
I was really going to do it today. Today was going to be the day where I put up the lights.
I miss Christmas again.
But do you understand why he doesn't?
Well, yeah, he is putting it off so that way Christmas is not complete. It's not over. Everything's not just gone and buried.
Yeah, so we see also this is I think where this is where I first picked up that it was June. I don't know if they explicitly stated what time of year it was, but you see the his hand drawn crayon calendar, which I guess, if you only have crayons in the house, you're probably going to do this.
I mean, it is nice that he kept that for humanity, because who's going to know what day it is?
Well, the world ended December 25th. I bought my fucking 2021 planner like a month and a half ago. So if they really wanted calendars, Joe, people already probably had them at that point.
True.
It's the next year that we don't have a calendar for.
Yeah, it's going to be a bitch.
The 2013 calendars were already ready to go on December 25th, 2012.
Yeah, people bought the ones with the cute puppies on it, and then the firemen with the hoses between their legs. Yeah, it's all done.
Yeah, those are all done. But we see that he has written like Xmas on every single day and crosses it out. And while he's doing something, GM finds the other months, January, February, and each one, every single day, has Xmas with a cross on it. Because there's some line about any day is Christmas if you believe. Yeah. I don't know. There's some Christmases in the eye of the beholder.
In the heart of the children everywhere.
Sure. I don't know. Oh boy, what do I have here? Oh, and then they start talking about a cure. Karen says there's never going to be a cure. There's nobody left to find a cure. It's not going to happen. Every day is Christmas. They talk about GM wanted to be a psychiatrist, but he got distracted by women. He likes meeting them, but doesn't like to get to know them. Now, I don't know what that has to do with him not becoming a psychiatrist, but it said like it's the cause, or like it's the reason why he never pursued it. So I don't know. He said he never had a wife, but he did have a cat that he hated. He was jealous that the cat could lick its balls.
I understand the struggle, so am I.
And the thing is, I thought of Joe immediately, too, on that line when I was watching.
Yeah.
I knew Joe would have something to say about it.
Well, I'm just always staring at my cats in envy.
Yeah.
Ugh.
But he's trying to talk to Calvin about like why he won't finish Christmas stuff. He won't put the lights up. He will never say Christmas is done. And he's getting at the whole point of like what Joe just said, like, oh, you can't finish Christmas because when you finish, it's over, and then what are you gonna do? Your daughter and
all
wife
you'll have
are
left
dead.
is a dead child and a dead wife.
Exactly. Yes. Thank you for hitting it with the sledgehammer. He said he's just trying to finish what he started, trying to finish what he promised. Ella loved Christmas. Christmas came. They got turned into zombies, and now he's trying to get it all figured out. So they decide tomorrow night, we're going to do it up. Tomorrow night is Christmas. And then that's where my portion ends.
Yes.
And now we go to Joe.
Okay. So, Calvin and GM go around stealing decorations off of people's porches. They hit the mother lode when they discover a house covered in Santa crap. When they go to take a big Santa standee, it awakens the previous occupant of the home, who died wearing a Santa outfit. He attempts to bite GM, but he shoots Santa in the face, and Calvin tells him that he wishes he'd stop turning his neighbors into John F. Kennedy lookalikes. Calvin realized that he and his family used to listen to Christmas music while they opened up their presents, so they head over to the radio station to set it up on a timer. While testing out the radio equipment, they accidentally get picked up by two rednecks in orange jumpsuits.
Oh, God.
Yeah, and here's where we get these gems.
Oh, these characters.
Yeah.
This is Joe's old magic crew, by the way.
So before they're able to leave the station, the rednecks coming and point guns at them. They steal the food from the station
Okay,
and
Joe,
debate.
How did? Yeah, you're just talking.
You're introducing characters. You have to let us know who
Make
they are.
observations, Joe.
Well, okay, I said rednecks. So it's two rednecks that are in orange jumpsuits, and they're just kind of like.
Yeah, all right.
No, I'll explain it. They're going through the radio, and they're like, "Hey, I don't know what this station is.
No,
is this
stop. Who
What?
are these men? Who are
two
they?
rednecks? Two rednecks.
No, stop it. They're not just. They have fucking names. What are their names?
I do not know.
Okay, so that's the new rule. If a character gets introduced in your part, at least you have to know their names.
Yeah, so you have to figure it out.
Okay.
Or what they're credited for. Maybe they don't care.
Oh, you
Yeah.
got Ryan's
Oh,
dander up
no.
so bad that Zoom.
Yeah.
But they're called driver or something.
Yeah.
Well,
Oh,
I
they
did
cut out-
not. Yeah, you cut out.
Just for a second. We're good.
And there's one that looks like it would probably be like Elvis's like second cousin or something, because he's got like the jet black like hair that's kind of messy.
Yeah.
He's got like I don't know what they call it, like not a pompadour, but it's kind of in that
Kinda.
shape.
Yeah, it
And
was
he's
a
got-
pompadour.
He's got a goatee, and
Yeah.
he's a little chubby white guy. And then there's a black guy with him. I don't
Well,
think
yeah, because I don't think they said their names, which is why I don't.
No, I don't think they
know
do.
them. Yeah.
the black guy, he doesn't really play a huge part. We kind of lose him, right?
Yeah, he's not in
mean,
it for very long.
He strikes me. He also ends up being like, you almost kind of think that maybe he's not crazy like the
Yes.
other people. Because even later on, when he has spoilers dispatched of, he's like aware what's going down. He's like, ah, shit. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? He's like, ah,
Yeah.
nuts. I didn't, but also we'll get into it later, but we find out that not all of them are crazy.
But they ended up coming from the state hospital, so it's.
Yeah, but not all of them are crazy. Also,
Yeah.
I do work at a radio station. I don't think you could triangulate us just from listening to the radio.
No.
I don't think you can easily locate us just from turning
all you
on the
have to do,
station.
Zach, is turn on the radio, and when it's staticky, you just keep driving towards the cleaner signal.
Yeah, of course.
So
and
they
then
just
you'll
kept
end up
going in
there.
circles until they
Even
got
though-
closer.
Even though our radio tower isn't in the same city as our
Exactly.
state, like, so realistically, the way that they have no way of finding these people.
Well, no. I mean, if they lived in the area, they can know. Hey, there's a radio station here. This is the channel. This is what they.
But why would they be aware of that? Because they were in a mental institution.
Some people have moments
You
of
know.
clarity. Where they listen
And
to
I'll
the
tell you
radio.
this, even in 2012, just because you hear somebody on the radio saying, "Hey, here's the latest from Michael Bublé," doesn't fucking mean they're actually there.
Exactly.
Because I thought that they're prisoner. We find out that they're from state home for the criminally insane. They were all criminals based on their mental illness. But at that time, all I'm seeing is orange jumpsuits. So I thought they were standard prisoners that broke out of a local prison. I was
And
like,
then kept their jumpsuit on for 6 months.
And they're very clean jumpsuits, I might add. On top of
Very
all
clean.
that, they were pristine, like they had just been put on that day for shooting.
All right, so yeah, before they're able to leave the station, the rednecks coming and point guns at them. They steal the food from the station and debate whether they should shoot the two or not. They decide to take the pair back to meet Reverend Mac, his name is. So, now we find out that the pair are originally from the state hospital. The Reverend, the white guy basically says that the Reverend is preaching that the dead are holy because they let the worry of modern life go and focus on eating. Just basically just walking around and eating.
Hey, Joe, what did you think of the Reverend's position?
It basically, I think that basically checks out, yeah. I mean, they are basically like perfect little Christians because they just walk around and eat.
I meant for
sin.
you. I mean, for you, would you fold into the flock?
I mean, I think I might get put down because I am a dudist. But I mean, hey, if they'll put me in a shack and let me eat their food, sure, I'll believe in whatever you spew out.
Fine.
They would just think you were one of them anyway.
Oh, wait, one of them must have got out from the hospital beforehand. Come back in, Billy. Come back in, Big Billy.
You would be Big Billy.
Bailey.
They couldn't even call you by your own name. Big Billy. Oh, that's just Big Billy.
Yeah.
This is an insight into Joe. He assumes that any stranger that would see him and have to come up with a nickname for him, it would be Big Billy.
Yeah.
That's how he sees himself, as Big Billy.
Go in the dark corners of the web, and if you start seeing Big Billy, that's Joe. Joe just gave up his handle.
Yeah. All right. So the camp has set up a security system of the dead, basically placed far enough away with chains around their neck so that you can like shuffle in between them. Let me see. Calvin sees his old neighbor Bill in the pile, and they also have an Elvis impersonator zombie that dances a little. All right, and that's where my section ends.
Yeah, but
Here we go.
Does anybody have any thoughts? Anything you want to
I have
add?
a lot of thoughts on that entire sequence, but fuck it. It's where the movie fell apart as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, it's bad.
I have a lot of
bad.
issues with all of this from here on out, but
Well, it's the whole introduction of the third act is simply just to have a conflict that isn't the main conflict is Calvin and his relationship with Christmas, his wife, and GM, and this is you gain nothing from this.
Yeah.
And so it's in the room where Ryan's part starts. I turned to Lisa while we were watching this, and I'm like, I know like one thing about The Walking Dead because I've seen about 20 minutes total of the entire series, and I know that there is like a place where there's like the governor and all this stuff, and like this guy's trying to start his own society and whatever, and I'm like, these motherfuckers, like this is just The Walking Dead, and then not 2 seconds later, I can't remember who says it, but somebody says The Walking Dead in this next scene. It fucking drove me nuts, and so then I clapped my ass cheeks and gave up.
Well, wait. Is this after the Walking Dead comic books were out already?
Dude, the show was on season 3 at this point.
Oh, okay.
The show came out in 2010. The short story was in 2010 as well.
Yeah. Okay, that makes sense. But I thought maybe it was just like parallel thinking.
No.
Okay. No, it was just plagiarism.
who knows? The short story. I mean, who knows though where the short story ends and the script begins? Because it was a short story.
Let me see if I can buy a digital copy of it.
Yeah, because I mean, it would make sense to just kind of jam in conflict in like the book could just be about like these two talking, and that would work as a book.
I mean, it could be. It's a short story, so who knows how short it is?
Oh my God! You can buy a hardcover copy of this book on Amazon for $589.83.
Wow!
My God!
Is there only one?
Or is it a collection? Even then,
No. It's out of print. It's out of print. They probably made like 15 of these books, and now that's what they're going for.
I'm just trying to find a digital copy of this if I can.
I mean, I know he's incredibly well respected. I have to Google it and find that out. But still, that kind of money for a collection, I don't know.
I did like some of that middle where it was almost just like a zombie mumblecore film or something like that. But as soon as they introduce conflict, it's done for me.
That's on your family flag, right? That's the Buckley crest.
They call that Shamble Corps.
Oh, as soon as we get any kind of conflict, us Buckleys,
we're
we
done.
run. We're done.
We're out.
Can't handle it.
Wait, Zach, did you just coin a phrase? Did you say Shamble Corps?
Yep.
Ah.
Hey.
It's like zombie
I
mumble
love
corps.
that. That's
Hey,
I
man.
love that. Shamble Corps. That's fantastic.
Maybe that could be our next one. Our next movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shamble
Lord
Corps.
knows we're not gonna have the budget for all these fucking zombies. So
Speaking of all the zombies, if you go to like the YouTube trailer for this, almost all of the comments on it are like, I know someone that was a zombie in this movie. Like, that's all of the comments on the
Just doing an
trailer.
Adam Sandler impression. This is exactly where I kind of gave up to, because I feel like we've seen this whole shtick before with the Reverend and the cleansing and stuff, but here we go. So they're going in to see the Reverend, and they learned that the Reverend and these I get inmates, I guess. I don't know. What
yeah,
what do you
just
call
call
them?
them inmates. It's easier.
Yeah.
They
Some
just-
of them are too. And like, he also implies some of them were guards.
Yeah.
Like, that's weird to me. That they were just like, yeah, we'll join the cult of this specific one.
They didn't even go home to check on their family.
No.
They just like, hey, he's the Reverend.
They
The
probably
one-
saw the light.
Probably.
The guard who let them out is also, I don't know why he started wearing an inmate uniform, but whatever.
Yeah,
They want to
yeah,
be
he
with the group.
He
Yeah.
specifically points out that guy.
Yeah.
Like, he
Yeah.
tells his whole tale, and it's like, well, none of us give a fuck.
I certainly don't. Come on
And
now.
also, the first time we see the Reverend, I didn't think Reverend, I thought oil baron.
Yes,
like-
oil tycoon.
Yes.
Well, we get to his story very shortly, but we learn that they don't hurt anyone unless the Lord tells them to, and sometimes he does.
Oh yeah.
The Lord speaks to the Reverend, and he claims that the zombies are back from hell to cleanse the earth. Pretty cut and dry end of the world zombie stuff here.
Now, can anybody tell me, because this is the point where I was like, I had this inkling in the back of my mind that this may be a co-Christian production or something. It just, something felt a bit off, like when you watch a Christian movie and they try to lull you in before they get to the hardcore messaging. And I was like,
Yeah.
oh, here it is. Here's this guy he's a false prophet, all this stuff. Is there any connection?
I had that thought for a brief moment.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't get. Yeah, if anything, I thought it was satirical.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the Reverend says that they require an actual baptism in actual blood. None of that. I forget the way he articulates
Yeah,
it.
fake shit.
Yeah, basically.
Wait,
None
the
of
cracker
that-
and the grape juice.
Yeah, none of that stuff.
The most important thing is that they clearly tried to color grade this scene to cover up the fact that the ISO of the Reverend takes place over probably about 7 to 8 hours, because you see shots where there's no light outside and there's plenty of light outside. But like,
Yeah.
if you just bounce back and forth, you can see that they color graded it to try and make it seem like his lighting is the same.
So GM is saying that they can be redeemed, but the Reverend does not believe them, and he keeps alluding to them that they will be sacrificed for the Lord. At some point, the Reverend says that he was, quote, a murderer, a robber, a fornicator, a buyer of foreign products, and a seller of used cars. So
And I think that last one is the worst of
I guess
all of
that's
them.
the history of the Reverend and why he was at that particular institution. Whether he was a Reverend before that this all began, it remains unseen. But our protagonists keep trying to weasel out of it by getting in with the organization. But the Reverend smells the insincerity on them. Well, they request to have a moment together to, I guess, discuss a plan. And the Reverend says they're going to be taken to the cathedral. But the cathedral is, I don't know what you'd call this building, but I guess it's where
To decommissioned medieval times. That's what it looked
Rodeo.
like.
where they do an actual
Yeah,
rodeo.
it's like a rodeo.
And this,
I was thinking they moved into a 4-H ground.
well,
and maybe
I
put
think
some-
that's what
yeah.
most of
Fair.
Texas is 4-H grounds and rodeos.
Yeah,
So
that's basically
Well,
it.
what do I
Kentucky
know?
Fried Chickens and 4-H fairgrounds.
So they're taken in there, and they're locked in a concession stand, and they're trying to figure out a plan. So we learned that the folks that have held them captive worked or were in a mental institution, and they were locked underground during the storm, so they didn't see it, and that's why they're all alive. The really annoying Bobcat Goldthwait sounding redneck inmate comes in and starts baptizing them with a bottle of water so that they can, quote, die better. The crazies all assemble outside of in the center of this rodeo cathedral, and they start singing some what do you call them?
Some kind of
hymns, I guess. I don't know, church. The Reverend comes in, starts doing a sermon, and one of the inmates eats a fly. That was important enough to show us. So it's pretty clear that this rodeo large arena means that they're going to be eaten by zombies. So as the Reverend begins speaking and giving a sermon, Kelvin sees the stuff that they brought with them, the boombox and the bag of GM shit, and then he knocks out one of the guards. No, GM knocks out one of the guards, takes a gun, while Kelvin takes the boombox and starts playing some real boogie music.
It's the same music from when they were sitting on the roof earlier.
Yeah.
The music is just embedded in the movie.
Yeah.
Nothing is added to make it sound like it fits the atmosphere or the space. So it's just, you're just hearing like a track that sounds like, hey, this is a great music video. And it's the fucking song. Boom, 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 boom. I fucking hate it. I hate that it's in my head.
My
Why do they have the boombox
Talking
inside the
about-
rodeo?
The mental patients took it from them at the radio station and brought it like in their bag of stolen goodies.
But why did they bring it into the radio or into the rodeo?
I don't know. Maybe they wanted to show it off.
This is literally what I had to do to make myself feel better about having that track in my head.
Hell yeah. Oh yeah.
Baby, I hear the blues are calling. Toss salad, toss salad, toss
Salad,
salad, toss salad, toss salad, toss salad, toss salad, toss salads, and scrambled eggs.
I had to
nice.
keep listening to that to make the repetition take the other thing out. God. I hate this movie.
You love it.
Well, anyway, that boogie music starts a playing, and those zombies get to jumping and jiving, and then my part ends.
Bring it on home. Let's bring it on home.
All right.
Come on, Zach.
So the boombox tune is a cranking, and
It sure is.
it sure is. And they turn off the boombox, and the zombies munch on the Reverend. And because so these people have like lassos around all these zombies, but as soon as the zombies start wiggling, they're like, let's give them a little bit of extra space. You know what I mean? Like they're moving and they're grooving. Don't harsh their mellow.
I think that I'm giving the movie too much credit. I think that what they were trying to establish is because, again, it doesn't make sense to play the music. If the idea was we want to draw more zombies into this arena than they can deal with, hey, they'll look hapless and dancing, so, okay, they're not going to start blowing them away right away. They'll let them come in and then do it. No, it's just the same group of zombies, except they just get a little bit riled up.
Right.
And so there's a moment where while the music is playing, I don't know if this is the Reverend is trying to keep control of his people.
Yeah.
And he's pointing out that, hey, you're not going to bite me. There's a zombie that's like right up in his face, but it's dancing. It's not going to bite him because it's so caught up by the music. But then as soon as the music stops, he says, you see, he's not going to bite me. And then it bites him.
Yeah. So he's trying to like convince his crowd that he has control of the zombies, not the music. I don't know why he believes that though. Because you know what I mean?
I assumed it was GM has the gun drawn on him, so they can't really fire on Calvin and GM. And, basically, I assumed, if they would have tried to stop the music, GM would have shot the Reverend.
I mean, maybe, yeah. There's a chance. I mean, it's weird that the Reverend buys into his own I'm safe now shtick.
Bullshit, yeah.
So then...
Also, these people we're led to believe are mostly delusional. Like, not to make light of the criminally insane, but
right.
it's like... what. why are you even telling them that you can do this? Why are you even doing this? Period.
That's a good question that needed to be asked more when they made the movie, but it wasn't. So they shut the music off, then they turn it back on once the Reverend, because they don't want to kill all these other people. Realistically, they're just pawns and they don't want to kill them. That's my thought. So they turn on the radio and their plan is to turn it on and dip, but then radio wears down. And this is where we get the gruesome scene of everybody getting eaten. The rabbit boy, he gets eaten.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody, all of our favorite players, the other ones,
Everybody
the blonde
we
one
love.
that
Guard
turned down
who let
GM.
people out of jail.
Yeah. Sweaty man.
Yeah, Sweaty Man. Yeah, he bites the dust.
Oh, poor
I
Sweaty
mean, all
man.
of our favorite characters are now
Rip
removed
Sweaty
from the
Man.
movie. Except, of course, we do see Elvis's fat cousin. He is crawling around. He seems to have been aware this wasn't going to end well. And this is where I mentioned that I think that the other one that was driving around with Elvis's fat cousin, I think the reason he might have been a guard as well is because we know some guards are there, and he right here goes, ah, shit. Because, like, everyone else is dancing, having a good time. He seems aware of what's going on.
Yeah.
My good buddy, the prison guard just got eaten. I hope I don't get eaten. Oh my
He just got all ate up.
I mean, I don't know how we haven't been doing this at all. Mainly it's because we probably don't want to relive this. But this motherfucker's voice is awful. It is
grating.
awful.
Yeah.
I love my mother, and I went to church as a baby, and then I clubbed my sister to death and ate her, and so they put me in the hospital.
And now Jesus is mad at me for killing my sister.
I will say none of his dialogue is anywhere near as good as what Tyler just did.
No, none of it.
It's a character that it's a terrible character. It's not a funny character. His dialogue isn't funny. It's one of those things where everything grinds to a halt when he talks.
Yes.
And they give him way too much time on screen. And his acting skill is way below, the two leads' acting skills. And so especially when they're all acting together, he doesn't understand timing. He doesn't understand anything. It's just,
Somebody thought it was funny at the audition, and they liked it.
Oh, yeah.
Well, maybe it's a producer. Maybe he pumps the money into it. Who knows?
It could be.
But it's glaring when he's on camera with other actors, the lack of skill between the actors. It's glaring when he's on there. He's just he's the worst actor in the entire movie.
Yeah.
And it's worse because it's ADR'd too.
Oh,
yeah.
God. Yeah.
So he had to do that twice. They thought that was a good idea 2 times.
Yes. Actually, what if it's the opposite? What if he just did a normal voice and they said, be funny.
Oh,
Be funny.
Ooh, you know what? I bet.
Randy, if you did like a, hey, I'm gonna go, my baby boy, I'm gonna poop my pants. Do something like that. That'll be funny. Or maybe the guys that did the ADR, the actual technicians, didn't get paid and were like, fuck this movie.
What if this is his real voice?
I'm sorry if this is your real voice, whoever, gentleman, whatever your name
We'll
is.
get him on the
apologize.
podcast.
Yeah, if you actually talk like this, sorry, man.
You guys can handle
Just
that.
kidding.
I'm out
Just
on
kidding. Yeah.
So,
I'll do that one.
Then one thing that's really weird too. So the boombox whirs down, and where Calvin and GM are standing, the gate next to them then gets pushed open by zombies. Why didn't the zombies just push the gate open earlier?
Oh, there's probably maybe a bunny boy was like guarding it or something. One of the nuts.
Maybe, but I mean, maybe. It was very strange to me. But then they got to get out of there. They grab the guns. They got to get out of there. We get to see everyone getting eaten. The one guard with the aviators, he bites a zombie back, which I think is like
Oh, it's kindergarten rules. If somebody bites you, you get to bite them back.
right.
That's true.
And we get some, I don't want to say practical. I mean, there are practical effects here. Nick, on a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate the practical effects in the zombie eating scene?
Not practical.
2.
Hey, Not bad.
I thought the blood looked fine for what it was.
Sure.
But as far as actual flesh getting ripped or anything like that, I mean, if you actually freeze frame any shots of like groups of zombies together, you clearly see like makeup lines around their neck that doesn't go into their shirts.
They all look very clean too.
I have no desire to analyze the effects on an amateur zombie movie at this point in my life. I don't think I have it in me.
Because I would assume you could just make like red oobleck, like that cornstarchy stretchy shit, and just put it on your neck and rip it, and that would look a bit better.
That's all you got to do. It's honestly special. If we've learned anything from Joe, special effects are actually very simple, and they could have executed
2 second special
They could have
effects.
executed
They're simple,
it.
they're easy, they're fast, they're cheap.
Right. All of that. Could have been done.
I've seen people on YouTube, like the special effects like gurus, and they're able to make like blood for like
just wing it.
$5.
Oh yeah,
I see them too, Joe.
Okay, no, yeah.
Hey everybody, make sure to like and subscribe 2 Second Hollywood Effects, featuring your boy Joe Buckley as he walks you through how to rip an arm off, how to make some blood, how to do a neck rip.
Yeah, no, definitely go check out Nick's Etsy shop. He's got some fantastic stuff for sale. So if you would like a homemade horror prop, he'd be able to do that for you with your Etsy shop.
Look at that brown-nosing motherfucking Buckley.
Stop being sincere. We're making fun of you, damn it.
I was just trying to get a plug in for my good friend.
Thanks, Joe.
No, it'd only be fair now if Nick gets to describe what you do.
Okay.
Yeah, everyone, come on down to Joe Buckley's cum basement, where we got the smell of mom's chicken is upstairs, and it smells like rotten stale cum, and there's cum on the walls, and
the walls are made of cum.
Like
the floor's
Mountain Dew. So come on down, and there's Mountain Dew and magic cards and cum.
So I don't know if we've touched this yet, but as our 2 leads are escaping, GM has a shotgun at this point, and I don't remember where Calvin gets this, but he has a rifle in a bag.
They found that on the ground,
and he doesn't. He keeps
at the gun store.
He is using up an arm. He is using an arm to hold onto this rifle bag, which is a hindrance to him escaping. But he doesn't use the rifle. So either take the rifle out of the bag and start firing it, even if it's one shot, who gives a fuck, or ditch the fucking rifle.
Or use it as a club, even. Like, utilize it as a weapon in some capacity. Because
that would have been better.
I can't kill. I'm Batman. No kill.
He literally, now that you mention it, so when they're going up the stairs, they're being chased by zombies. And GM, he trips, and fucking Calvin throws the gun. He throws it away from him. Get this weapon away from me. I have to save my friend from these bad zombies. And then he does. He gets him up. But as is the case with every zombie movie made, literally ever, they get up, they get inside of somewhere, and after someone has been looked at by a zombie, we know that not only did GM get bitten by a zombie, he managed to cover it up for some reason. So apparently his pant leg was pushed up, he got bit, and then his pant leg was pulled down. That's what we're going with for this, because it's supposed to be the big reveal, right? Yep. I guess it is ripped. It is ripped. Never mind.
Yeah, I assumed he got bitten right whenever he tripped. Like, the zombie grabbed onto his leg, he was tripping, they helped him up, and he got bitten that time.
It is ripped.
This is all in the span of like 30 seconds. Trips. Yeah. Zombies pile on. Calvin gets them up. They go in. They lock the door behind them. And they're in like a little.
Lock the door is an interesting term because they do wrap a bandana around the handle of the door.
It's locked, buddy.
That's locked for a zombie. A zombie can't figure that out.
But this is where the screenwriter, because I think that Keith Lansdale, who did the screenplay, was like, you have to have the moment. You've got to have the moment. And I'm sure in his head he pictured this 15-minute long thing, but it's fucking 30 seconds of we see GM, as soon as the door is locked and Calvin walks ahead of him, GM stands there. You see a tiny tear roll down his fucking cheek, and we know. Oh no, we know. And then he says, basically, my adventure here ends, Calvin. I'm gonna sit down in this little chair here, and this is where I'm gonna meet my maker. And I hope you can learn one day to put those Christmas lights up. Oh.
I think they should have kissed. I think it would have been nice if they just smooched and then the movie.
Yeah, we know. You say that at the end of every movie. I wish the 2 lead male characters would kiss. You need to stop saying that.
But anyways, my point is that it's not necessary. This whole moment is not even just what Joe just said, but this moment with GM milking this bit is not necessary.
Right.
Don't do it.
Not
I
earned
fully
at all.
believe that both of these leads have the ability to act.
Right.
And it's like they should have let this dude just wing it and just do something funny like, I'm bit, oh shit, I'm bit. And just and just sit down and be like, what you got? Give me every gun you got. Give me everything. I'm gonna take these motherfuckers out.
So this remember the 2008 Dawn of the Dead, whatever one it was, the Zack Snyder directed one, right? When Tucker the trucker, he falls, he breaks his legs, and he's being pulled, and he's like, pow, pow, one gun in each hand. He's going out guns a-blazing, and then he's like, shoot me, like. That's an effective scene because he's trying to get out of there, he's desperate, and then he asks to be killed. This is not as effective because he has him leave the guns knowing he's going to blow himself up, which means he's not going to shoot those guns. All he's saying is, give me your firearms and then get out of here. You got other stuff to do, kiddo. Get out of here.
And it's a leg bite. We haven't established how long it takes to turn.
Right.
He should just be going with those guns and killing every single one that he can. And then, hey, if it's the end of the road, blow yourself up. But who gives a fuck if you turn into a zombie?
Right.
If you kill 30 and you're the one that's left, you're this one.
It's the whole lesson of like him being like, you need to learn to move on, which some of the stuff he says isn't terrible writing, which it makes me think that some of the shit he says was out of the thing.
Yeah.
It's not
there's
terrible.
a lot of great lines in the script.
Yeah. And so then and I think this was a missed opportunity too, to be like, for a touching moment, he has these 3D glasses that he could have given to Calvin because he knows they've
remember
saved...
me always, and you're watching fireworks, or
Or
Avatar.
in case that there's the lightning storm, it'll protect you.
Right. It's literally like the idea being you can remember people without needing them around. Like you can keep people's memories alive. You don't have to have them there. You need to learn to let go, but you can have momentums like Mr. Bear, like these things. You know what I mean? I feel like there was
he takes off his Karen shirt and hands it to him. Like, here, use this to remember me by.
Yes,
You're
exactly.
Karen now.
Here's what I love more about any of this.
Yeah.
Is I love this idea because I'm stuck on a shot where in the foreground we've got GM sitting in the lawn chair with a pile of grenades in his lap and one in his hand. And Calvin's looking over his shoulder looking at him. I just love the idea that Calvin gets outside and like if the plan was Calvin was supposed to shoot the grenade or something like that, and GM just completely changing his mind in that moment, completely negating his whole concept or his
I want to live! I want to live!
Exactly, and then Calvin just shoots him, boom!
He explodes.
Please don't let me die. I think I'm going to go to hell. I masturbated today.
All right, you get one, Joe. You got me once.
Thank you.
So
I didn't laugh.
Then Calvin goes outside. The zombies get in, and we get the explosion, the bad CG explosion, and Calvin falls over, and now we've apparently killed all the zombies.
Well, it's a weird shot.
Yeah,
because they cut away the moment that GM pulls a grenade. You get like a fake, overlaid explosion. But we have a wide or a medium shot-ish of the side of the building where we see the stairwell leading out where Calvin is, and then you've got two windows up in that room where they were, and it's like we didn't need to see this. Like you made the movie worse by trying to make it cooler. Like. Yeah. I don't know why people do. It's like the tanker in Dark Moon Rising.
Yeah,
it's like the whatever that exploded.
The train in Prom Ride.
Yes. Yep. Like if it doesn't look good, just don't do it. We didn't need to see that moment. We just you cut away from the explosion to Calvin like just somewhere, anywhere. It doesn't matter.
They do that exact technique. Although more puzzling in like a minute, where it's just like, well, we don't need to see this because so then Calvin goes to the car. Yes. And Fat Elvis is like sitting here trying to figure it out, trying to like hotwire the car maybe. So then Calvin's like, hey, get out of here. And he has a gun and Fat Elvis is like, take me with you. Please help me. And then like, he's like, no, I'm not gonna, I'm gonna shoot you. And then but why? And then it cuts to white with the bang of a gun. And then we get a weird, just like close up on Calvin. This is how the bunny talks, and it's weird. This is a weird sequence editing wise of like, hey, did you remember to bring the squibs today? And they're like, oh no. And they're like, oh, that's fine. We'll edit around it. Don't worry about it. We'll just cut to white.
And it's like fine. They specifically decided not to like the director said is off camera, and he's got the gun and whatever, and the director says, "Bang! Okay, cut.
Yeah.
We're done. We do not need to see this guy pretend to be shot and fall to the ground. We don't even need it." I'm so confident in this special effects. I got it.
Exactly. And so then he does the talking to Mr. Bear, and he's driving, and
Should have said "Merry Christmas, you filthy animal."
from the movie, yeah.
Yeah.
So then,
Home Alone.
he keeps driving. So then he's driving, and he's like distraught because he just lost someone that he knew for 24 hours, and he's upset. He's upset. So he turns on the radio just in time to get the song. Just don't you love when you turn on the radio and the song restarts for you? It's always good, and so it does. And he goes home, and he's you know what? I'm gonna finally learn the stuff that I learned, or the stuff I was told from GM. I'm going to go home and I'm going to cross out all of the Xmas's that I have on my calendar and instead
last one.
write Christmas. Why? It does this I'll say was so puzzling to me because he's not moving on. He just decided to write Christmas really big. That's what Xmas meant in the first place. I don't understand the symbology here, the symbolism.
Yeah.
He's going to make every day Christmas now. Every day counts as Christmas.
That's what he was technically
That's
already
what
doing.
he was doing.
I think maybe
No, those are half Christmases.
Oh, yeah.
I
made
think
every day
maybe
half Christmas.
the thinking is that he could never even get himself to say Christmas. To him, it's Xmas because I don't care. I don't got the spirit in me, baby. I buy you these fucking 90s because I want you to take off that sexy Santa outfit because I hate Santa. I get so flaccid around Santa.
Yeah.
And that's probably what it is. I misread it. So then he decides, I'm gonna do it. So he gets his wife. He goes outside. He's got on for some reason he puts on like a green button-up shirt with a red tie because Christmas. And he goes outside and he's talking to his chained up wife, who isn't chained up well. There's a part where he kneels down right next to her, and she easily could have bit him, but doesn't. But he's like, "I'm finally opening one of the gifts you got me." He opens a gift, and it's a Christmas sweater. Again, do people get Christmas sweaters as gifts, and do they get them on Christmas? Because haven't you missed the boat?
I thought the same thing.
Right. You missed the boat. You get to wear it that day, and then you get to put it away till next year.
See, this is a pet peeve. Hey, Mom, if you ever listen to this for some fucking reason,
Do not
Christmas
do it. Yeah.
Christmas ornaments.
I always get a Christmas ornament, or I get a shirt that's got some kind of Christmas vacation goof on it.
Yeah.
Hey, this is great. I can't wait to wear this in 360 fucking days. Let me just put it away. And we'll be fine.
Exactly. You can wear it
Give
in
it to me at
July.
Thanksgiving. Give it to me at Thanksgiving, man.
Yeah.
And then I
That's
can
nice.
enjoy it for the season.
Yeah. And so he puts on his sweatshirt, and he finally lights it up. Lights up his Christmas lights, and it's beautiful. The zombies love it, which it's weird because it's a plot device that could have been put out there earlier of the zombies would be distracted by lights, and they could have used that in some capacity.
Yeah.
Right? Because the zombies, they were created by flashing colored lights. Maybe they would be distracted. Again, doesn't matter. So then he finally gives his wife, because she's just staring at it, he gives her the gift she's always wanted. A shotgun
Bullet in the
to
head.
the back of the head. Yeah. And so he does. He shoots her and then looks at the zombies that are left after he buries her too. This must have been like a 45-minute endeavor. One has to assume he already dug the hole.
Probably.
So he kills her, buries her, looks at the remaining zombies. Ray is in there. Other zombies are there. And then he turns to get the cover of the movie and says, "Merry Christmas, you monsters, and to all a good night." And then we get our credit sequence. And
Hold on a second. What happens, though, after he says that?
Oh, that weird freeze frame putting him in an ornament? Yeah.
Yes, it freeze frames and a soft overlay of what looks like there's
Card
green
stock.
and red snowflakes. It's like a Christmas card. What the fuck?
It's
And
so
then it
weird.
kicks into one of the things this movie does constantly is it does their own versions of songs, of course, that they could never get the copyrights for. They did that with It's the Most Wonderful Time of Year earlier. And one of my favorite traditional Christmas songs is It's a Marshmallow World by Dean Martin. because as a kid they say Pumpkinhead in the song, and I thought that was funny as a kid, a reference because I didn't realize it wasn't really a reference to the movie because I didn't know how old it was because I was 10. But anyway, that's one of my favorite Christmas songs, and they do a blatant ripoff of that song during the credits. The hell with you, Christmas with the Dead.
And to add to that, the credits are fucking 6 minutes and 37 seconds or 34 seconds long. Fuck you!
Gotta pad that
Fuck
running
all of
time,
you.
which was only 125 minutes to begin with, or I mean, an hour and 25 minutes to begin with.
You are not Pixar in the fucking late 90s. You don't get to put funny little goofs in your credits. You don't get to do it. You run the credits at fucking 300% speed. You get us out of here in 90 seconds. Fuck you.
Yep.
Yeah, and then, I mean, that's it, right? And then it's over.
That's it, really. Yeah.
And
There
here
was
we
a
are.
little in memoriam. Somebody in memory of Walter de la Rosa. That person, what an honor, you know?
Yeah.
Congratulations.
That's what their life is just leading to. Is
Maybe
thanks, person in this movie.
That's what they said.
You're so special to us.
They grabbed their child as they were dying, and they said, "Let me live on in the credit sequence to Christmas with the Dead," and then they died.
well to add a little bit.
zombie movie.
Let me add to the lore here a little bit. Maybe at the end there, where Calvin shoots a Pompadour Man, maybe they accidentally misfired a loaded gun and killed that guy on the set.
no.
That's why they had to block it all out.
They just can you imagine? They just give him that line at the end of the credits. It blends in. That'd be
We're so
awful.
sorry we shot your peapod, but here he's in the movie now.
All right, everybody. There you have it. That is Christmas with the Dead from 2012, which was Zach's choice for the hunt for holiday horror. So from a scale, on a scale, from malevolent to benevolent, since it is your pick, Zach, we'll start with you. What say you?
I say, oddly, I don't know why, I put it slightly on the edge of benevolent. It's like just barely. Like I could, if I tilted a little bit, I'd be in the malevolent side, but something about it halfway through, I was like, it's got its hooks in me. It's not good, but I did not hate it. I enjoyed, what's his name? I really did enjoy the guy who played GM. I think he did a good job.
Yeah.
Given
He has his
all
moments.
things considered, I liked him. Everyone else, not great. Not good, but they gave it their all. I do want to know where the remainder of the $1.45 million went for the budget.
Oh God, they spent that much on that?
According
I was
to
buying
IMDb,
the rights to the story, even though it was his own
Yeah.
bad.
That's probably
maybe.
it.
But other than that, I like I said, I'm like barely benevolent, but I'm going to go with that because something about it charmed me, and I think it's just him doing all the heavy lifting, but it got me. Let's go, Joe.
The movie actually had me for a little bit in the middle. Like I said, I like just kind of like day in the life of like horror movies. You're just kind of chilling. You're seeing what happens to society after it falls. I thought GM was kind of like a decent knockoff John Goodman, so I was all right with that. But the beginning of the movie's really bad, and like 65% of the I'm saying, like, if you divide the movie into 10% chunks, once you hit about, like, 40% to the end, it's all bad.
If you do a bunch of math, this movie's great.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, no. I'm going to have to go malevolent. I did not enjoy this movie. I just thought the acting was pretty bad. Aside from the two leads, the acting was horrific all the way throughout, every single character. There really just wasn't anything that stuck out to me as being good, so I'm going malevolent. I'll see what Trevor says next.
Oh boy. Okay. I rated this one malevolent as well. It's got its charms. There are a few things that I liked about this. Like I said earlier, I think as a concept, there's something here. I feel like if you gave this to somebody, a very talented writer, they could maybe spruce this up a little bit. I don't know. There's a good nugget in there, but unfortunately, this ain't the team to make it a good movie. I'll parrot what pretty much everyone else has said. The ADR is really bad. The acting is pretty rough across the board. I did like GM/Karen. I think he's probably my favorite person in this movie, which ain't saying much. But he's fine. He made it worthwhile. I agree with Joe. The middle, that little chunk in the middle, is the best. I think, honestly, the part that I had to recap, I think might be my favorite part of the movie. That little bit there, with the two of them trying to hash it out. I like that. That's. I feel like that's probably where the story is, the actual story, the book or whatever. And the third act is, I would imagine, what is tacked on. But yeah, it's Malevolent for me. I don't know that I would watch this again. Yeah, I don't know. It's a shame, but yeah, Malevolent. Nick, have you said what you thought of this movie yet?
There's a lot of caveats here, what I'm going to say, but
Sure.
I think I liked it.
Oh.
But
Okay.
part one, I never want to watch it ever again. I'll just say that.
Yeah.
I like to think that I give my reviews on these movies based off of the execution, but also to a large degree the potential that was in the movie. And rarely do I think that pumping a lot more money into something, a movie like this, would help, like, save it. But I think in this instance it might have. I think if they had, like, several more millions of dollars and did things right, I think there's something good here. Or at least mildly entertaining, because, again, I really don't give a shit about a dumb zombie nothing knockoff. I don't care. But at least it could be mildly entertaining if they did have the money or the means to do everything to reach the potential that I think I see in this movie, which I'm certain comes solely from the short story or whatever this was based on. I'm sure that's where all the credit deserves to go. But most importantly, this movie was short. It was what, an hour and 30 minutes?
126, I believe.
Perfect. The perfect amount of this shit for me to wake up at 9 a.m. to start watching it all the way through. So with that being said, I'm going to go barely benevolent. I kind of liked it. I liked the things that the GM was saying, which again leads me to think some competent writer probably wrote this and no one related to the film at all. So yeah, let's put me at just barely peeking through the curtain into benevolent. Tyler, what do you got?
Nick just inspired me a little bit. I'm going to do my review in chapters. Like the short story that is probably no chapters. Chapter 1, good, bad movie. Christmas with the Dead is not a so bad it's good movie. But it has elements of that type of movie in it. There are things that you can work with. There are things that you can laugh at just on your own, whether it's snappers or the little comedic hijinks that the zombies get up to in the background, or the occasional line by GM. There are things that you can legitimately enjoy about this movie that are either meant to be funny or very much unintentionally funny. So I got to give it credit there. Chapter 2, it kind of works. If this movie was just about a dude who hated Christmas and his wife is dead, his daughter's dead, and he wants to keep the memory of them alive, and the only way he does it is to not celebrate Christmas, I buy into it. And it's just about him reaching the conclusion of that journey, take all of that fucking shit out with the Reverend and the fucking rodeo hospital people, take all of that out. You don't need it. It just needs to be about they accidentally trigger a wave of zombies that they cannot take care of. That's all it needed to be. Which leads me to chapter 3, comedic challenge. This, to me, this is where I'm going to differentiate the most from the gang. This, to me, is one of those movies that I really like because I want the challenge of trying to make this thing funny. Because, again, there were parts of me that thought this was a Christian film. And it's like, oh, don't think just because you put a little bit of Jesus in here, it's going to stop me. I'm gonna make fun of you. Like, I'm going to go after you. And even though it wasn't that, it was still fun. Lisa and I had a really good time watching this. We cracked some jokes. We had a good time. Which leads me to chapter 4, rage. Fucking pure, unadulterated rage. There are things about this movie I fucking hate with a passion. But I'll tell you what. You start off with a little so bad it's good. It leads into a little bit of it kind of works. You get that comedic challenge. And then you get parts that fucking suck so hard that I couldn't look away. This movie pulled me in for the worst of reasons. And I'm going to give it credit for it. I fully accept that I'm going to be the outlier here. I fully accept it because I'm the reason that all you assholes are still hanging around me is because I bring you together with bad movies. I get it. I'm sorry. I'm going to go benevolent. I'm going to go firm benevolent. And it's completely with the caveat that you're not going to rewatch this. You're never going to want to see this again. But for me, Zach got me. He dangled that little drug right out the gate. I can't find this movie, Tyler. This is the movie I would pick, but I can't find it. And Tyler's, let me get on the internet, go to this Russian blog and find it and download this rip that took 10 hours to download. It had me. And I'm not normal. I'm going to talk to my therapist about it this week. But I'm going to go firm benevolent. It's not a full benevolent. Rewatchability score in the tank, but I'm still going to go benevolent. So Ryan, I'm done with my little picture book here.
Okay, well, sometimes things happen when I'm watching these movies or any movie, and it's something that I recognize it when it happens, but it's not something that I know is going to happen until it does. And it's this sadness. It's this sigh of sadness that just comes out of me. And in that moment, the despair that I'm feeling is so intense that it takes me back. Like it knocks me off my ass. And it happened during Christmas of the Dead. It happened during that third act where I just felt so like depressed that I'm watching this, that I'm sitting here watching this when there's so much else I could be watching. Especially during the season, which is already jam-packed with great Christmas shit that I got to watch. Having said that, I like the two leads. I like them quite a bit. Damien Maffei, I'm glad that he's gone on to his career is getting bigger and bigger every day in the horror genre. I really liked Brad Mowell, who played GM. I liked some of the weird quirkiness. I liked a lot of elements of the script. Not plot structure so much, but I liked the dialogue. It definitely had the same sort of quirks that Bubba Hotep had and other Lansdale stuff that I've watched. And I appreciated that. But at the end of the day, no matter how much I like this ingredient or dislike that ingredient, I'm not here to judge ingredients. I'm here to judge the pie. And the pie tasted like shit. And the ADR annoyed me to such an extent because it was entire scenes, it was entire shots. What the fuck happened on the day that you did not have quality audio for entire 5 and 6 minute sequences? Making these actors have to go in and recreate emotion probably 6-7 months down the line for entire scenes. I know what happens here and there when you're outside, but there were entire scenes of acting. Up to and including the very last line of the movie where he says the Merry Christmas line bit. You should have been, that was your button line and you weren't ready to record it or you fucked up somehow. And that just really rubbed me wrong and it pulled me out immediately and every time it happened. And, but I was still with it. I was still just a little bit with it until the two guys in the orange jumpsuits showed up. And the moment they showed up, I was out. And then it just got worse and got worse and got worse. And then the sigh happened and then it was over. It was over for me once the sigh happened. Nothing it could have done could have fixed everything once the sigh happened. And so, at that point I knew it was a Malevolent movie for me, but it was a soft Malevolent. As irritated I was with the ADR, the more we've talked about it though, the worse I feel about the movie. So I'm giving it a hard Malevolent now, a hard Malevolent because I'm irritated I was as the more we talked about it, I was like, ugh. And so, yeah, it's a hard Malevolent for me on this one, which has been a while since I've given anything that.
Interesting.
The ADR and the song ripoffs it hit me on a personal level, I feel, and so that's why that's a big reason I'm out. I felt for the actors having to go back and re-record all that fucking shit.
Okay, boys, it's time to make some nominations here. So our first category that takes nominations: the Ugly Sweater Award, which is for like best costuming, makeup, outfit, whatever.
Oh,
you have.
his buddies get up with the hat,
Ray.
Ray, with the Christmas tree hat and the present sweater. I mean, that's it for me.
Okay. Any other suggestions?
Maybe Zombie Elvis?
He wasn't a zombie.
It's
was
up to
he?
you if you
Oh,
want
I
to
thought he
nominate.
was a zombie. Okay.
Wasn't he one of the crazy boys? Maybe he was a zombie.
He was a zombie.
I think he was a
Yeah,
zombie.
I thought it was a zombie.
What about his wife's Christmas Eve? I'm just trying to think of all
Sexy
the holiday
Santa.
things. Sexy Santa.
Yeah.
I do
Sure.
want to throw in a vote for GM's outfit because it was both based on story and it was its own thing. He had the shirt with the Karen name tag, and then he wore it the whole time. So it was like
I
his
also
uniform.
appreciate the idea that when I first saw the glasses, I was like, oh, fuck it, come on. Don't just do that just because. But then they tell you why he has it. It's a practical piece of his costume.
Yeah, yeah.
Should we nominate the director for his
His late night shirt. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I looked him up. He's one of the main producers on the show Bosch, which is very successful.
Oh,
Yeah.
really?
So a lot of the people have been fantastic in the years since Christmas with the Dead. So I don't
And now they're about to be pissed because this podcast is going to go up, and one of their
gonna
friends is
see
going to
this
send it
YouTube
to him in
video.
a group chat, and they're going to be like, fuck, we buried this. How did they get
How
this?
did they find it?
They're gonna come beat us up.
Yeah.
the main dude from Bosch is going to come and beat our ass.
Titus Welliver's gonna come up, show
Bosch
up.
himself? Oh, no.
On Christmas Day, we're gonna get Joe in a little sleigh flying over, dropping copies of this movie.
Yeah. I'll see it. Hey, I'll see this.
I did find the DVD on Amazon. It may take a little bit to get in, but it's got special features and everything.
I could not find a copy on there when I was looking for it.
Yeah.
I found it because I was looking for reviews. Other reviews.
Even then,
on-
it was showing up for me as unavailable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe they
Somebody probably popped up a copy for use. But
I'll
other than
send.
that,
I'll look.
yeah.
I'll look it up and send a link in the.
No, it's there. It's
Oh,
there
no, it's
now.
there.
So
It wasn't
I wonder
there
if
the
it's the
other day.
holiday season. They know they might be able. Well,
Yeah, they could get a bite.
I just bought 2 trash movies that I don't think anybody should ever know exist, and I got them. So
Wow.
I don't want
I
to
just
spoil.
mean, if you want to see the special features that are on there, it looks like there's commentaries and.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
I know how you
Oh,
do
yeah.
with the collection, so.
Okay, so the Goonie Award, best collective debate or bit. I mean, there was a lot of shouting at Joe today.
Yeah, what was he talking about? He was trying to figure out
a math bit. He started a math bit.
That was good, yeah.
Joe's sexy math.
But I tried to get that done quickly. I was able to do that math within 20 seconds. So I don't think that's bad.
And also the
20
Nick
seconds.
versus Joe, who do
Joe's
what do you-
whole Joe's whole
Joe's 20-second 10%
Yes.
math equation,
yeah.
Yeah.
and then his 2-second effects,
Yeah,
Hollywood
yeah,
effects.
yeah.
Yeah,
I
winging
can
it
tell.
with Joe Buckley.
I could tell the people about effects.
Yeah, I bet.
Spell effect.
Did we have anything related to the film? I mean, just our pure hatred for the ADR.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't know if that really counts as a collective bit or not.
there wasn't really like a mystery element to this movie.
No.
No,
Like,
I
it's
didn't
pretty
think so.
straightforward. I don't think we were confused by much.
Yeah.
The closest thing was the idea of the lights, whether or not that would make people come out or not. I guess that was the closest
Oh, yeah.
Sure.
puzzling plot. I don't know.
Yeah, I'll just put Xmas lightning talk. Definitely our theories on siphoning gas.
Oh, yes.
Gas
Gas
sucking.
siphons, how that works.
I think everybody should have to listen back to each of the episodes to really fill up this section because it's probably not going to hit us until later.
Yeah.
Okay, festive finish. Jesus Christ, this is a weak category for this first inaugural season.
Well, someone gets beat to death with a hammer by a guy dressed festively.
Child hammer kills.
So,
He's dressed like a tree.
yeah.
Well, the bunny and I mean, but festive. It's not Christmas, but we do have an Easter bunny guy getting eaten by a zombie,
Yep.
Oh, that's true.
and it's a holiday. So
Easter
he
bunny.
doesn't necessarily say he's the Easter bunny, but he's dressed up like a bunny with buck teeth and everything and carrots. So
Yeah.
Okay. I can't think of anything else. I mean,
No,
I know he kills his wife in Christmas Passion.
Sweater, but no.
But
yeah, that's
yeah,
about
but it's
it.
not even that exciting. Okay. And then greatest Grinch, character that most killed your holiday and Malevolent movie spirit.
It's that guy.
Fat Elvis.
So
Fat Elvis.
Fat squat Elvis.
Yep. He killed the entire movie.
Anybody else? Reverend
probably also.
Yeah.
Gosh, yeah. I don't know. This movie's light on characters.
Yeah.
It almost could have been a play if they wanted to.
It almost could have been a short story if they really wanted to try.
Hey, that would have been incredible.
Well, guys, the movies are in.
Yeah.
We're locked in. So Festicool's Ice Queen, Trevor's Lucky Stiff, and Zach's Christmas with the Dead. I don't know. We still don't have all the ratings in for Trevor's Lucky Stiff, so the jury's still out there. But Trevor is within play. He is a stone's throw away from Ice Queen, so I don't want to give out numbers yet.
I can understand that.
So this will be interesting. Interesting. And hey, my score alone might save Christmas with the Dead, so we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
I like that Christmas with the Dead is the first. I mean, we've had divided, Malevolent and Benevolent before, but this one is across the gamut. You got high Malevolent all the way down to, to high Benevolent. So I like that it was probably one of the most divisive overall movies we've had.
Yeah, I don't know that we've had one like this.
You know what, guys? I know. So we haven't done videos yet for this series, but I think we should do videos. I think we should do a little holiday themed party. Get a little dressed up, put your Christmas sweaters on, or Joe put on a little New Year's bow tie.
Baby New Year right here.
Yeah, or dress like a turkey.
Shitting in my big diaper.
Well,
sure. You know what? Fuck it, Joe. Buy a Tykeable. Wear a Tykeable.
Ooh,
yes.
You're the New Year's Tykeable baby, and maybe we'll finally get that branding so we can get paid.
Yeah. No, they'll be so proud to have Tykeables in the video. They would love it.
I mean, they probably would.
Just a big fat sweaty man wearing them.
I think that's already dressed up,
Joe.
Okay, everybody. Well, what a ride that was. The very first annual hunt for holiday horror comes to a close. I know it was only 3 motion pictures, but there'll be a lot more probably next year when we plan ahead. But I tell you what, we had the Ice Queen, all right? We had Lucky Stiff, and we had Christmas with the Dead. I mean, it was a cornucopia, even though it's not Thanksgiving, although holiday and Thanksgiving we say it counts. It was a cornucopia of just bad amateur shit, but a lot of laughs, a lot of goofs. Hopefully you enjoy it. We will be returning very, very soon with probably something for fucking Valentine's Day as well. So take it out, Pickle Boy Joe Buckley.
Yep, do that.
All right, and we're out.
Bye.